So I gotta read this. I gotta go get this. I'll be right back. Yes, because people don't believe me when I say this. But this was something that really stuck out to me when it. We were at a party. Everybody had matching towels. Um, Israel, not star U.S. flag. Okay. So, uh, so it's been changed a little. Let's see. U.S. flag set ablaze. 23 arrested as thousands protest Netanyahu's D.C. visit, July 24th, 2024. Do you remember hearing about that? So this is funny how it's no longer. Okay, so Middle Eastern Eye. You know what? You guys might get mad if I read that. So I'll read the Jerusalem Post. The Jerusalem Post. Ben-Gvir to Biden. Israel is no longer another star on the U.S. flag. Jerusalem Post. Ben-Gvir to Biden. Israel is no longer another star on the U.S. flag. What do you think that means? Now, this is going to get, it's going to get spun a little bit, but Israeli culture and sport minister Miki Zohar accused the U.S. of falling for fake news around the judicial reform legislation. Fake news. Yep. The United States needs to understand that Israel is an independent country and not another star on the U.S. flag, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir said on Wednesday morning in response to U.S. President Joe Biden's comments on judicial reform. But that's not what he said. On Tuesday night, the U.S. president said that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will not be invited to the White House in the near future and urged him to drop the judicial reform plan. Now, mind you, this is back in March of 2023 when a normalization deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel was the top priority for the U.S. president, just like the previous president and the president that will be. And this is shortly, this is March, let's just say March 29th. So this is about 5 months after Netanyahu was put in office. And it was starting to like sort of be seen like, holy shit, these guys are fucking crazy. Right? Like, and I mean, it was pretty obvious before that because you had, Itmar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich. Ben-Gvir is a guy who did time because he incited violence against Arabs. Like that was like he's a very, very open supremacist Jew piece of shit. Like he's as big a motherfucker as it gets, right? And for him to be given any position of power is like you want to be stupid and say there's no conspiracy. It doesn't make that. How is Ben-Gvir allowed to exist in a political position if there's no conspiracy, right? So you have this shit where it's being said, in March of 2023, Biden's main goal is to get Saudi Arabia to sign the normalization deal, which, for those that don't know, normalization deals are okay. So it's like the Israelis want to be able to travel to and from all the places in the Middle East without any problems, without even having to deal with visa issues. And the visa waiver program that Israel was put into about a year ago, October 31st, I believe it was 30th or 31st. Israel's put into the visa waiver program, meaning Israelis can travel to and from the United States without the visa issues that they would normally have. Well, these normalization deals are the same thing. That's what the Abraham Accords are. And it's funny because yesterday I did this big long video, almost 5,000 views on it, blah, 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 where I was talking about this and talking about the Abraham Accords. And of course, the dumb Trump pansies come on and you don't know what you're talking about. That's not what the Abraham Accords are. And then nobody then saying they're about this or they're about that. Rayanne, what's up, Ryan? Ryan? I don't know how you say that. That's a strange way of spelling, whatever. But cool. What's up? Nice to meet you. The Abraham Accords, it was about, and this is all Trump, it was about putting Israel in the position of power, right? Making it so Israel can go anywhere they want. And most importantly, everybody that signed the normalization deal, Bahrain, Qatar, all these places. One of the key things is that if Israel is doing something, if Israel says, if Israel decides to, I don't know, commit a genocide where they openly kill over 40,000 people and sort of laugh about it, all these other countries have signed these normalization deals saying they won't get involved. That's what the key to the normalization deal is. It's not just the travel, it's the guarantee that Israel is protected. That's why you're not seeing any of these other Muslim countries coming to the aid of the Palestinians. Appreciate it, man. Good to meet you. We got a new like and subber, and we should all be liking and subbing. This is Team Goyim shit here. We need to rise and eliminate this Jewish control, and this is how we do it. So, where is Palestine in a map? Where is Palestine on a map? There are plenty of maps that show Palestine. Of course, it's been basically destroyed and removed since Israel took over in 1948. But, are you going to be stupid right now? Can I show you one? Yeah, let me show you the map. Do you know how stupid you are when you say this shit? That's your argument? That's the argument. Show me Palestine on the map. This is the stupid things that the standard Israeli Jew will say to try to make themselves sound better. But this is really important that people understand. You think this is started in the 60s? No, I think World War II was about establishing Israel. The Balfour Declaration, and then did I say World War II? I meant World War I. World War I was about establishing Israel. It was about putting the Brits in charge of Palestine so that when they decided to make the move against Palestine, the Palestinians would be so dependent on the Brits, they wouldn't have their own army, they wouldn't have their own government. And when the Brits pull out, then the Palestinians were just sitting ducks. That's literally all it is. Damn you goofy dog. Yep, that's what it is. Us Goyim, we sure are goofy when we know what we're talking about. So this idea that Israel is the 51st state, we're trying to work on this. Don't off yourself. Life's got more than this shit to it. Yeah, don't understand. Again, if you're gonna engage, please don't be stupid. You look about 50% Jewish in you. Yeah, you could definitely tell that. You look like you're about 50% Jewish. Yep. And yet I'm the only one you know that's talking about this, so that probably doesn't make much sense, does it? The United States need to understand that Israel is blah, 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 blah. Like many strong supporters of Israel, I am very concerned. I am concerned that they get this straight. They cannot continue down this road. I have sort of made that clear, Biden said to reporters. Again, sure, clearly he made that clear. LOL, you the only one saying talking points from the left. Right. You hear the United States government, especially the left side, bashing Israel all the time and talking bad about Jews. Yeah, I hear that all the time. Do I go to church? No, I'm not stupid. Sorry, I'm not an idiot. And idiots go to church where they give 10% of their earnings to a pedophile organization. Sorry. You cloak yourself in hate. Yes, I cloak myself in hate. I am so proud of my hatred. I am so proud of my anti-Semitism. I hate all religions. I hate Christianity. I hate Muslims, Islam. But I hate Judaism way worse, because at least with Christianity and Islam, they want me. They want to save my soul. They want to, they want the best for me. Whereas the Jews just want us all to die. Sorry, bud, you a duck. Pride is a sin. Right. Think about that. The book the Jews gave the Christians as their template for what they're supposed to believe tells them that having pride in oneself is a sin. Gee, I wonder why. The tolerant left, everyone. Oh, we've got another one of these people that's talking to, I guess, the audience instead of the person. But that insists that see, this person's too dumb to make the argument against somebody that doesn't believe in left or right. I don't accept the idea of they're gonna slap you in the face with the left hand or the right hand, you pick one. But in his dumb mind, like, he can't wrap his head around that. I fall for a side of this, so why don't you fall for a side of this? And that's what the typical Trump supporter, typical Jew stuff, like, it's always the typical thing to do is when somebody knows they're outmatched, when somebody knows that they're wrong, they'll argue their own narrative. I tell you guys this every single time. If you take anything from this video, take that. Learn that when you're arguing with somebody, if they start arguing their own shit, oh, so what you're saying is, they start doing that kind of shit, they know they've lost. They're just not big enough to admit it. Bay, show the floor of your shirt apartment. St. John's UAH, beg you to say this shit to my face, boy. Oh, hey, it's the stupid ass from yesterday that was all the tough guy that wanted to fight. I want to fight. I'm from St. John's. Wherever the fuck St. John's is. Please, dude, if you'll drive to Redford, I'm all about it. Come on through. We can fight all day. We'll get those fisticuffs. Because you're too stupid to make any good points. We know. Hey, bro, go get a job that pays. Again, so we're just going to skip over this. I'm not going to, just so everybody knows, these dumb comments, like, they don't bother me or interfere at all. Well, I guess they do if I have to pause to read them. But, like, unless the person's actually going to say something that matters, I'm just not going to even bother anymore. And obsessing about your hate is the smart thing to do. I guess you spending your life... See, again, that's the J5 profile. That's a Jew. So I shouldn't spend my life hating things like pedophilia, things like slavery, things like, the genocide that's happening. I should just be quiet because this person's too stupid. Gotcha. He will fight you if you come to him because he can't afford a car. You would never say this crap to my face. Yes, I absolutely would. Not worried about you. I am native. You are not. Yeah? How would you possibly know? I mean, again, this is just the stupidity. This is all they can bring. Stupid Jews, man. They are the worst fucking people in the world. Just the worst. They're just dumb. Two got 9 trolls. Yep, 2 does. You cannot even vote. Give the time and place. Right down the road, 7 Mile in Inkster, there's a 7-Eleven right there. You go on and come. Whenever your dumb ass can make it here, you come on and I'll say it to your face, okay? He is talking to us 9 trolls. For sure. It's important that people understand that, man. People understand that Israel has this. We'll look up Team Jorge after this, and I'll explain it. But I want you guys to hear this shit. Speaking to Army Radio on Wednesday morning, Ben Gvir criticized Biden's comments, saying that while Israel appreciates the democratic regime there, it is precisely for this region that they need to understand that Israel is an independent country and no longer a star on the U.S. flag. What do you think there, right? See you in 10 minutes, boy. Okay. I bet you you'll be there. I'll be there.
One of the teachers at this chick's daughter's school gave all these out to the kids trick-or-treating last night, and the parents are having fun.
They should. They absolutely should. That teacher should be fucking fired.
Yep. You're in Redford.
Oh man, I hope she gets fired in a minute.
She's the mom is so pissed.
Let's see. So do you, like, what does that mean? Israel is no longer a star on the U.S. flag. Do you guys remember Israel ever officially being a star on the U.S. flag?
We paid into these programs for our entire careers.
Right? It's insanity. They're acknowledging what's happening. You guys just don't pay attention to it. And it's so funny because, again, you get a lot of these dumbass trolls that come in here that pretend they're like America first, you know. They're Trump supporter, blah, blah, blah. How are you this stupid? How do you not see, you know, what they tell you right to your face? So let's look this up just so everybody understands. Team Jorge, Jorge, Israel. You got to put Israel because sometimes it just won't show up. So the funny thing is, all the stuff that I'm doing, I'm walking in circles, blah, blah, blah. You guys will watch me do it for hours and then provide the example of the stupid troll with all the dumb things you say. Like, as bad as it is for me to do this, for you guys, you have nothing else going on in your world. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, or Friday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. For some reason, you're not at your jobs, and you're here. Gee, I wonder who that could possibly be. That couldn't possibly be Israel. You will know a fool by his many words. Again, more of that Bible stuff, where the Bible is telling you somebody that's educated, somebody that knows things, and then happens to question the ridiculousness of the Bible, that's a bad guy. Like, nothing is good like that. Nothing that tells you not to question it is a good thing. Right? Nothing. If you were given a dessert and it looked really weird, and you were like, "Hey, what's in this?" and the person was like, "Oh, don't ask. I'm not telling you." And you were like, "Ha, I know. No, seriously, what's in it?" And they were like, "I'm not going to tell you." If you ask about it, you're a fool. If you ask, that's wrong. You shouldn't ask about what. Like, well, what if you're allergic? Well, what if all these things. But you would never eat it if the person refused to give you any instructions or any directions or any ingredients. Yet when it comes to the Bible literally tells you that pretty consistently. You talking loud but ain't saying nothing. Yep, ain't saying nothing. Yeah, Team Jorge is something that nobody should know about. Revealed. Well, this is the guard. See, the problem is, because none of the major news outlets picked up the story, that'll give a lot of people a reason to not listen and be like, "Oh, it was something stupid." Heritage investigation wins prestigious European Journalism Award. The Hart, U.S. or Israeli security expert behind worldwide election manipulation efforts report. I mean, that's the Jerusalem Post. Would that work? Would that be a good enough thing for you? A fool uttereth. If you talk like that, you're a fool. But a wise man keep it. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. Right. Once you die, then everything, that's when the real party starts. See, what's sad is this person will keep saying these things because it's not like they can think for themselves and have, they can argue for themselves. So they keep saying these dumb things that don't even really apply because they can't argue. There's nothing they can debate. I mean, does this person, like you don't even know what what their standing is. Are you pro-Israel? Are you pro-genocide? What's your stance? Because it's really stupid to think like everybody is, that you're just talking shit to talk shit. Do you agree? Are you okay with genocide? Do you like giving U.S. money to Israel? Are you a U.S. citizen who like giving your tax dollars to Israel? Do you like the Jewish control? Like, you like all that stuff? That works for you? All right. A team of Israeli contractors is responsible for having manipulated more than 30 elections around the world through hacking, sabotage, and automated misinformation. The Guardian has revealed after an in-depth investigation. Again, this is the Jerusalem Post. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but a fool rageth and is confident. Oh yeah, the last thing you should be is confident. You should be scared of the invisible bad guys. You know what? Bible thumper, why don't you do this? Why don't you give me a reason? Give me a Bible verse, and I'll read it. You give me a verse that actually makes sense, that's undeniable, and I'll read that, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, this guy's the tough guy thinks I'm gonna stop my live feed so I can call him, because he's so dumb. God, I'd love to see this little 5'6" white guy. It's only little bitty white guys with their tiny dicks that are this angry all the time. It's fucking hilarious. Oh, he's waiting. I bet he's waiting for me. Oh, he jumped in his car. Can you imagine me having that power over someone? I have the power over you that I say, come here, puppy duck, come here. And you jump in your car and come running. Boy, are you special. You are a Jew lover. That's the best he can come up with. Right, like what? Are you 5? I mean, I know you said you drove here, but seriously, what's up with your brain? You talk all this trash and never follow through. Yeah, that's what I do. I talk all this trash. I should run up to the 7-Eleven because you made it there in a couple of minutes. And I should run up there and be like, where are you? And you'll be like, oh, I left. So stupid. So fucking stupid. Seriously, you love the Jews. Yep, that's why I talk about them like I do all the time. Like, this is the thing. This is how, this guy is so mad, he's typing in capital letters. Look, it's all caps. He's mad. Oh, what a stupid ass. Here, I'll go out front, right? I'll go out in front of my house. And you just come down the street. I'm just a couple of streets away. You figure it out and just come on. It's pretty easy to figure out. You just come to my house and we'll see how it works. Okay, tough guy? Because you're tough and you jumped in your car and drove to 7-Eleven because I told you to. Oh, how stupid. How fucking stupid. Wow. Anyway, in an article published early Wednesday morning, The Guardian reported that a team of Israeli operatives have been working. You know what? I am going to go up front because it's so beautiful out there. It's cold? Oh, fuck that. I'm too pussy for that.
I came in, put socks and a sweatshirt on.
Yeah. I'm here, boy. I can't imagine somebody so much smarter than me that I want to fight them. You're so much smarter than me. I can't come up with anything to say, so I'm just going to start swinging. You would never say that to my face. I would call you the piece of trash you are. Look at the mold in the ceiling. Yep. Look at all the mold in the ceiling. Yeah. We have so much mold in the ceiling. Right. There's dust, but it's mold. Well, the thing is, again, this guy's really stupid. So somebody else said it, so he's going to say it. Because he can't come up with anything. Oh, yeah. Who said fight? Oh, right. Because you want to what? Hang out? You want to hang out with me? We'll hang out. You can braid my hair. You fucking idiot. What a cloud. What a fucking cloud. I'm mad at you. Man. I'm mad at you. I just love it, man. I love stupid people and stupid, and like, just, it's so crazy how consistent it always is. You know, how can stupid be so consistently stupid? The same kind of stupid every time. It's so fucking wild. And they're just so poorly prepared. Like, they don't know how to, they don't know how to actually engage in anything. They want to be the tough guy. They want to be the smart guy, but they're not made that way. And it's the strangest shit to be a part of, and to see, like I would be so embarrassed. But it's the same thing. I would be embarrassed if I was a Trump supporter. I'd be embarrassed by a lot of the shit these guys do. Oh, wait. Are you talking about my wife? Did you just call my wife a hag? Oh shit. Now I'm really mad. That's what I thought. Will not call, will not meet up. You are a clown. Yep. Yeah. I should call you because you have the opportunity to say whatever you need to say right now. And I don't even know your fucking phone number. But I should call you because I somehow know your phone number. And I should do what again? And then I should come meet up with you. But not to fight. It's not to fight. Did you want to just blow me? You know I'm not like that. Oh, that's what it is, isn't it? You want to blow me. Oh man, I'm sorry. You can't. 623-466-1999. 623-466-1999. Go ahead. He wants people to call him. Ask him what it's like to have a tiny penis. Ask him like how bad is it? Call me, boy. Call. You could say stuff, but you're not. You won't. You could say something here that's even slightly intelligent. Like, I appreciate this, guys. I hope people are, oh, he unpinned his message, or he deleted his message. Oh, oh. All talk, tough guy. Yep. Yep. Dude, I'm 2 streets away from wherever you are. Just come on down. Just come on. Come down the street. 2 streets up. Come on. Poinciana. Right up the street. 2 streets up. Let's see how tough you are. I just love stupid people, man. I love stupid people. I've been dealing with stupid white guys for such a long time. Oh man, it's always fun.
Introducing MyPay from Chime, a revolutionary new way of getting your pay when you want. Get up to $500 of your pay before payday. No interest, no credit check, no mandatory fees. When any day is payday,
See, again, you have to wonder. So this little dick white dude found my feed yesterday. He found the feed of the guy that says we should cut off Israel. Stop giving them $3.8 billion a year, which turns into 15 billion shekels every year. We shouldn't have given Israel $18 billion since October 7th, 2023. And we should just cut them off. And with that money, we should use that to hunt, to make a proper pedophile hunter program. Right? And this guy is like, oh, I hate that. Blah, blah, blah. Ex-felon trash. Yep. I just can't, part of me wants to go to show that this doofus isn't at the 7-Eleven. Like, but that's such a waste of time. I go show he's not, and he's going to be, then the trolls go, oh, we got you. Like, it's just a lose-lose. It's so stupid. And this is what people do when they can't argue. This is what they do when they don't have a brain to be able to think their way through an argument or tell me what I'm wrong about. This guy's hanging on every word I say. So clearly he's hearing it. But he just refuses to acknowledge. He only acknowledges certain parts. He must be a pedophile, or at least part of the pedophile group, because normal people, immediately when they hear the idea of the pedophile stuff, they go, oh yeah, fuck that, fuck those people. The people that are, if they're speaking already, obviously there's going to be people that aren't speaking, but normal people, as soon as they hear the pedophile stuff, they immediately respond to it. Slander gets you locked back up, boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get arrested for calling random YouTube troll a pedophile. Yep, that's slander. Gosh, I've been slandering Biden, Harris, Trump, Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, Hollywood, all the Jews. I've been slandering people for years. Weird how I haven't been locked back up. Because, if I had been to prison, then that would mean the things I talk about are invalid. Right? That's how that works. Like, this is like, I was watching Press NH Now, he's just great. He's one of those First Amendment auditors. And so he goes into this government facility and a couple of the people, they're fine, but this one chick comes out and she's a white girl, but it's like that ignorant hood personality has leached out so much that it affects these white girls. Now, this is a white girl in a governmental position, and she's one of, I guess, she's one of the higher ups. She's not like the low level secretaries or whatever. She's got her own office. So she comes out and she starts talking, and well, look at you. You got on some cheap ass pants, and you got on this, and you got you got your shoes on. Your shoes are all black and look stupid, and blah, blah, and she starts clapping. She's clapping as she's talking, and it's and again she's mad, because this guy calls her out. He said, oh, at one point he was like, oh man, it must be that time of the month. It's so funny how females get mad about that. It's just they can say it anytime they want. They can use that to their advantage and say, oh, You know, it's that time of month. I'm just not in the mood. Blah 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 blah. All that shit. As soon as we're like, hey, you know, and the thing is, we don't talk about it enough. We don't address it. I don't ever want to deal with a cop that's on her period. I don't ever want to have a judge presiding over one of my cases or something like that, and she's on her period. Especially if she's someone that has, you know, wicked periods, because a lot of people do, a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. Show that wife of yours, she must be a looker with that cough and all, right? Because coughing means you look a certain way.
I also have all kinds of drainage and a little cold going on. You want some?
Like, it's so stupid. Again, notice how I flat out called him a pedophile and he didn't deny it. It's sort of the key, like, underlying factor involved in with all of these idiots. You call them a pedophile and they don't deny it. Who doesn't deny being a pedophile when called one? Pretty fucking crazy. But I'm telling you, these pedophiles are dumb. And they keep making these fake profiles thinking they're doing something. When the reality is they do nothing but prove the point. You know, I always thought trolls were supposed to interfere with the feed. You know, trolls make the feed fun, man. Where's your daughter then? Yeah, you don't sound like a pedophile. Oh, that's right. You walked away from them. Apparently, I walked away from my daughter, and not sure who the other them refers to multiple people. So are you saying I walked away from my wife and my daughter? Oh, you're super
You were
smart.
married before me?
I guess so. And you didn't even know.
And you have a kid?
Apparently. I walked away from him.
You know what? Keep her away. I don't want a daughter in here.
Right. Fuck that. So instead of denying being a pedophile, this guy's gonna make up. Remember when I told you a person knows they're wrong? They know they're losing when they start making up their own narrative. Here's your sign. You know, that's this thing that they all seem to have. All these fake profiles have to, you know, they have the same characteristics. If you look at their speech patterns and you look at the mistakes they make, and then you look at the fact that none of them deny shit, it says a lot. Love how you didn't deny it, loser. I didn't deny having a daughter I walked away from. Boy, you are super smart. See, I thought this person was up at the 7-Eleven right at the corner. They sure seem to get over that argument real quick. Oh, I left already. Oh, that's what you did. I can't tell you. Again, I just appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here and playing this role. I think it has to be hard, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's easy for you. To me, it would be so hard to be made to look so stupid. Like, I would get so uncomfortable and, you know, but I guess when it's your job, you do what you do, huh? They're just not good at it. So anyway, in an article published early Wednesday morning, The Guardian reported that a team of Israeli operatives had been working under Israeli security expert Tal Hanan, a 50-year-old former Special Forces operative and CEO of Demonam International. Demonam? Is that Demonam? Demamim International, to manipulate election outcomes in dozens of countries over the last 2 decades. Now, see, this is This is Israeli black ops. So when I say it's the Israeli black ops that are playing these dumb being these dumb troll profiles, I'm literally going to read you the proof of it right here. Now, see, this one realizes it's out of line and it's on the way out. So this was fun, but I have a job. Hope you get that cough checked out. Would miss my daily hate. Like, does any of that make sense to anybody? He has a job. I guess he's got a job he's got to get to here at 10:45. Yep. Funny how you bring up that he's doing his job. You bring up that he's a pedophile. You bring up all these things and they just fall apart. If you guys aren't going to see the connection that I'm reading you and then what's going on here, seriously, I've led the horse to the water. I'm fucking holding that horse's face right by the water. Drink, you stupid fucking horse! God damn you, drink! And if you don't want to drink, man, I don't know what to tell you. So, 50-year-old former Special Forces operative and CEO of Dimamam International to manipulate election outcomes in dozens of countries over the last 2 decades. The exposure was a culmination of work carried out by a team of 30 journalists, with 3 of them, Omer Ben Jacob from the Haaretz, Gur Megiddo from The Maker, and Frédéric Mitizou from Radio France, carrying out an undercover investigation on the ground in Israel. Again, this is the Jerusalem Post is reporting about this. They're not the original reporters, but they're reporting about the story. And I'm reading Jerusalem Post because I know people will be looking for their way out of this. Working under the code name Team Jorge. Now, also, this is just one. How many of these black ops corporations do you think Israel has? They literally have an unlimited spending budget. Just the money we give them is basically unlimited, but then they get money from everywhere else. Canada, the UK, Australia, Germany. Most of the Western countries give Israel money every year. Working under the codename Team Jorge, the operatives offer their services to those looking to meddle in elections worldwide, as well as to corporate clients. The investigation reveals. One of the key components in the team's efforts to sway election results is social media, more specifically, Twitter. A non-human bot by the name of @Canealan, Canealan, has been found to have links to numerous fake social media profiles, all controlled by disinformation spreading software owned by Team Jorge and based out of Israel. With 58 followers and a profile picture of a smiling man with glasses, Canealan appears unassuming. He periodically shares links to articles from news sources such as AP News, Bloomberg, and the BBC, and there would be no reason at first glance to doubt his authenticity. However, as the investigation revealed, he is anything but unassuming. And he is just one of many other bots just like him. According to the investigation, the software known as AIMS, Advanced Impact Media Solutions, I hate this week.
It will be. I will assure you of that.
Ugh. Controls over 30,000 fake social media profiles, all of which can be used to spread disinformation or propaganda far and wide at extraordinary speed. The funny thing is, the Jerusalem Post can't help but take liberties. Because the actual report is that they have 40,000 bots. Remember, I've said it 1,000 times. But the Jerusalem Post is still going to downplay it, knowing that anybody that's been paying attention will see this. But because we're just so used to it, we sort of overlook it. It's going to sow that small seed of doubt, and it's going to do what it does. Like it's crazy. Acting like if they had 30,000 isn't nearly as bad as 40,000. So, like, why lie about it? Other than because that's just what Jews do. They just lie. That's just how they operate. Why lie? Other than, you know, again, the occasional Jew or Goyim that's going to stumble across this article and read it and you know. What the fuck, man? I don't want this. Like, imagine you're somebody that reads this article and you're talking about it with somebody and you're like, yeah, there are 30,000 bots. And the guy's like, no, dude, 40,000. You're then going to immediately question everything else. Like, uh-oh, did I read it wrong? Oh, shit. Like, all of this is psychological warfare. The expose published by the Guardian, what the fuck just happened? Oh. On Wednesday is the result of an undercover investigation carried out by a consortium of journalists from 30 different media outlets, including Le Monde, Der Spiegel, and El País. During the investigation, Hannon, or Jorge, spoke with undercover reporters Ben Jacob, Megidio, and Medizu, telling them that access to the AIM software has been sold to unnamed intelligence agencies, political parties, and corporate clients. Hannon also told the reporters that his services have been made available to intelligence agencies worldwide, in addition to political campaigns and private companies. The services have been used across Africa, South and Central America, the U.S. and Europe, he added. Oh, that's a bad sentence. These Jews, man. But see, again, think about it. The U.S., you know, since 2016, we've been told repeatedly that Russia interfered with the election. And it's sort of like implied that Russia interfered with the election to help Trump, though it's never really said. You know, have you ever noticed that? They never actually come out and say Russia tried to help Trump win the election. They insinuate everything. And they do this with literally no proof. Like, none of you can say, oh yeah, I saw that article. I saw that thing where it showed how Russia actually interfered with the election. And it's more of that psychological warfare, right? They're telling you, you dumb Goyim, all Russia has to do is you're going to vote for, you know, you were going to vote for Hillary or whatever. Yeah, you were going to vote for Hillary, but you were shown a video, a fake video by a Russian propaganda team, and because you're a dumb Goyim, you were like, oh, I'm going to change my vote now because I saw this one video by this one fake that's what they tell you. That's how they think of you. They tell you you're that stupid. They think you're that stupid. And that's how they act. But when you stop and you're like, how the fuck, what do you mean they interfered with the election? How? Give me an example of how the election was interfered with. There's nothing. They've been milking that cow for quite some time, but there's nothing there. And because you're a good little Goyim and you've been told not to, you don't really question it. You just sort of follow and probably regurgitate aspects of it consistently. But you don't really ask these questions because you're not told to. There's so many things that exist that you've never bothered to ask the question to, or maybe you did, but because, you know, in our world, there are certain things like bullying is terrible, right? Nobody should be bullied, and bullying is awful. Well, unless of course that person says they don't believe in God, then it's okay to bully them. It's also okay to bully people if they question the shape of the earth, if they don't believe the history, if they believe the narrative, then it's okay for you to bully them. And you can do it in a large group if you want. And it's, you know, somebody doesn't believe we went to the moon. When I was growing up, that was one of the few things you never wanted to be, was somebody that didn't believe we went to the moon. You'd be a crazy kook. But I'd always wonder, like, why do people not think we went to the moon or think we didn't go to the moon? Like, why don't people believe that? Is there a reason that people don't think we went to the moon? Are they just crazy people, or do they have some sort of information that maybe I haven't seen? Because I know those same people that call those people kooks, they call me a kook for not believing in God. So if the standard fight against somebody who doesn't believe a narrative, it's always the same thing by the same kind of people. If they say those same things to me, like it's like if you're hanging out with your white friend, and your white friend starts making like jokes about Chinese people or some shit like that. You know he'd be making black jokes, if brown jokes or whatever you may be, if you weren't in the car. But he doesn't think you're smart enough to realize that. You are a kook, yeah. Yeah. At least somebody finally responded. Your argument is seriously irrational. Which one? See, no matter how many times I plead, I beg, instead of coming on here like a typical bot, troll, coward, telling me that I am wrong, tell me what I'm wrong about. Be specific so that I can correct the behavior or the belief or whatever it may be. But if you just say your argument is seriously irrational, which one? I've made several. It's crazy how I have to keep explaining this to people. Like our natural inclination, we've been programmed to be these kind of stupid people. The kind of stupid that will, that's quick to tell somebody they are wrong, but not tell them why. Not provide a solution, not do anything, just criticize. And that's exactly what I'm talking about with the whole earth shape, with the going to the moon, with the believing the history, with supporting Israel, with all of it. You never hear somebody say, okay, you believe this way, well, here, let me help you understand where you're wrong. Every single time it's attack mode. And then it's on my feed especially, it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. You've been programmed, question mark. What is you've been programmed, question mark? Yes, we've all been programmed. It just depends on how.
That you admitted it. Is that what it was?
No, I don't. Who knows? How I am reading the words that people put on. I can only take you at your word. I can't assume. I don't know. I don't know what your attitude is or anything. I just know what you say. Tough Guy's not here anymore. Where'd Tough Guy go? So again, Ames controls over 30,000 fake social media profiles, all of which can be used to spread disinformation or propaganda far and wide at extraordinary speed. What do you think they're talking about here? You don't think for yourself. Nope, not at all. I just vote for Trump, and I believe in God, and I think Israel has the right to defend itself. You cannot say that about the Jews. What? Anything. The expose published by The Guardian on Wednesday is the result. Oh, we already did this. 30,000. Unnamed, during the investigation, Hanan Jorge spoke to those guys, telling them that access to AIM software had been sold to unnamed intelligence agencies, political parties, and corporate clients. Hanan also told the reporters that his services had been made available to intelligence agencies worldwide, in addition to political campaigns and private companies. The services have been used across. Oh, why does this keep fucking resetting? We did read that part across all those places we got. That was our last part we read, right? So why does this keep fucking around? Gee, I don't know. Why does the page keep jumping and making it really hard to read? I don't know. Alright, let's see. I'm trying to get back to where I was. Okay, during the investigation, nope, we read that. Added US and he add, okay. What is AIMS? The world is not flat. Okay. Well, I guess if you say it in capital letters, that makes it true. And I don't think the earth is flat. I don't think it's a ball flying through space. But I don't think it's flat. Alright, let's see. Gotta fucking find my way back in here. Can't believe how much this is fucking around. The sophisticated AIM software package offered by Hanan and his team of Israeli operatives controls thousands of fake social media profiles on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Telegram, Gmail, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube? According to The Guardian, some of these fake avatars even own Amazon accounts, credit cards, and Bitcoin wallets. Each individual avatar is given its own unique digital backstory and is able to mimic human behavior through the use of artificial intelligence. Gosh, that doesn't sound like what I deal with until they get to that point where they start, falling apart, repeating themselves, making the same mistakes. Like, it's pretty funny. But in order for bots to spread disinformation and fake news, there needs to be a news source for them to take it from. That's why, in addition to AIMS, let's see. That's why, in addition to AIMS, Team Jorge runs an automated blogger machine system that creates websites from which the fake social media accounts can then disperse information. After you've created credibility, what do? Then you can manipulate, he told the team of undercover journalists. This is an Israeli operative, black ops, off the books operative, who's bragging. Again, bragging to a team of undercover journalists about their incredible capabilities. How many black ops corporations, unnamed black ops organizations, do you think Israel has? Through secret recordings of over 6 hours of meetings between Hanan and his operatives, the investigative team learned of how Team Jorge is able to gather intelligence on their clients' rivals through hacking Gmail and Telegram accounts. They also boasted of planting material in legitimate news outlets, which are then amplified by the AIMS bot management software. You understand? Into legitimate news outlets. Because at the end of the day, legitimate news outlet is a funny fucking oxymoron, isn't it? That's like saying jumbo shrimp or apartments. Why are they called apartments if they're so close together? According to the investigation, much of the work conducted by the team in the arena of political manipulation centers around disrupting or sabotaging election campaigns. In one instance, The Guardian reported, the team claimed to have sent a sex toy delivered via Amazon to the home of a politician with the aim of giving his wife the false impression he was having an affair. Gee, have we ever had sex toys sent to our house before?
Oh my God. Totally forgot about that.
But isn't
Totally forgot about
that interesting? Isn't that an interesting coincidence? The exact thing that the big time real legitimate news outlet is reporting is the exact same thing Crazy Guy Williams has had happen. I have one question. Why would so many people try to convince you that the world is a globe instead of flat? What's the motive? There are several. They have to do with control. You think you're on a globe, you're just this small nothing in a sea of nothing. You immediately don't think of yourself as important. It doesn't unify us. The problem is, it's more of the opposite. What does the opposite do? If you find out that we live in some sort of domed structure, what's the immediate question that comes to mind? Doesn't matter what your race, your religion, your sex, doesn't matter what it is. If I tell you that we live in a giant structure, what's your first question?
A giant structure.
If we live in a giant structure, the earth is a giant structure and not a ball. What's the first question?
What shape is it? I don't know.
Who built it?
Oh, who built it?
Yeah, who built it? That's usually what people say.
Sorry.
Yeah, Bonehead is in a different. Yeah, she's in the comment. But that's the immediate thing that comes to mind, is we immediately unify and say, all right, who built it? And that's the last thing they want. It's all a big distraction. We're sitting here that if they give you the answers, you don't look for them. If they tell you that you live here, you don't go, hey, where do I live? And they go, well, no, here, check this out. Look, we've got all these pretty CGI pictures, and we have all this fake information. And more importantly, we live in a situation where if you don't just accept this, you get made fun of. We're going to rip you apart. You get to lose shit. You'll lose all kinds of stuff. You lose your job. You lose whatever. If you're a kid, well, you'll get bad grades, which means you lose your freedom and all that shit. Like it's all there. Plus, if you believe we live on a ball flying through space, then you accept the idea that rocks can fall out of the sky and wipe us out like the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs that were here that turned into chickens. All right? That's what makes sense. The big giant lizards turned into birds. The problem with people like you is you argue about things that you don't know anything about. You're arguing one side of a narrative and you haven't looked into both sides. If you watch 200 Proofs the Earth is Not a Spinning Ball, I always suggest people do this. When you watch it, have a pen and paper handy, and as you're going through it, he gives you it's not done in a typical like propaganda government kind of way, where it's like real pretty and it's believe this or you're a bastard kind of thing. He just goes, okay, number one, da 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 da. Number two, da 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 da. My wife actually hates it because he's so monotone and just boring. But you, with your pen and paper, you write down each number that you can debunk, and then afterward we could talk about it. And we'll just go through it one by one. And you say, okay, I can debunk number 7. I can debunk number this. You should be able to debunk all 200. Because, those things shouldn't exist on a round ball. Round ball flying through space that happens to know that it's June 21st, time to start tilting the other way. Uh-oh. Okay, we've gotten to that other side. It's December what? What is it? What's this winter solstice? December 21st?
Yes.
December 21st. Time to start tipping back. It's fucking stupid. You're just making it up as you go. Yep, that's what I'm doing. You haven't said a single rational thing so far. Yep. So I don't really take what you're saying seriously. Gotcha. Nothing is rational about any of this stuff. I gotcha. Yeah. You can make sense of all of it. When I say, here, this is a really simple exercise. You should try this because it's going to give you visual aids. And I know a lot of people, especially stupid people, but a lot of people, myself included, are visual learners. And when you see a bunch of examples and it presents it to you in a really easy way. As a matter of fact, you know what you could do? You could just jump off this feed. And if you can find it, because again, for some reason, if you go to look it up on YouTube, you'll find a bunch of debunk videos, but you won't find the actual video. And the debunk videos are just nonsense. It's generally a Jew and it's generally nonsense. But just go find it. Watch the first 10 minutes and you debunk those first 10 things, because you should be able to get through 10 in like 10, 15 minutes. It's done really well. It's not super long or anything. That's what she said. But you can do it. You could do that, and then you could easily come make me look like an idiot. This is like the other day when one of these troll profiles tried to say that I said we don't need engineers. You said it in the old video. You said we don't need engineers. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, who's going to even say something like that? But how about this? How about you go get the clip of that video? You go get that exact clip. You tell me exactly when and where I said we don't need engineers. And then I'll give you $100. I'll give you $100 to prove me wrong. At that point, they weren't interested in doing all that. I'm not putting, but they're gonna stick around on my feed and talk shit for a couple hours. Always funny how that works. You've gone off the reservation. You lost sight of true critical thinking. Yep. True critical thinking is not asking questions. True critical thinking is to be critical of someone. If someone is asking questions that you can't answer, you don't answer, you criticize them. You don't go, holy shit, I can't believe I can't answer these questions. Maybe there's something to this. But I'm not even making real arguments for it. I'm just telling you to go prove this video wrong. Come at me with some proof. The funniest thing is, you have literally no proof the earth is round. Literally none. It's surprising how difficult it is to prove the earth is round. There are plenty of people that started off in that vein. They were like, oh, this is stupid. They're dumb Christians. A lot of them are dumb Christians that do. And it's amazing to me that Christians in general aren't jumping all over the flat earth concept based on what the fuck their Bible says. But, I challenge you. Other than pretty fucking fake composite images from NASA, what proof do you have? There are things all over the earth you live on that don't make any sense if you live on a ball. There are plenty of actual videos of people, they say the ship goes over the horizon, that's why you can't see it anymore. Yet there are plenty of people that use the Nokia 9 bazillion super zoom cameras that show that long after your eyes can't see it, it can still be seen by the camera because there's no curve. Like, these things, they shouldn't exist. It's really, really simple. And the thing is, you've become so accustomed to the narrative that you've been given that you haven't bothered to think about it and question it and think how stupid it is. You know, when you look at like, I always say that the smarter you are, the dumber you sound, and you just don't realize it. When you talk about like, okay, so the whole Big Bang thing, the Big Bang, it's the same question I have for the Christians too. Because the Big Bang and Christianity are basically the same thing. It's just one has a few more characters. But the Big Bang is basically there's all of the all of the everything in the universe is condensed down. Like you stand where you are and you just stand in a circle and you just look. And you think, okay, everything you can see times a giggity babillion, fulfillion, mammillion, trillion, tridillion, manillion, a pillion. All of that was condensed down into the size of a match head. Now, just like with the Bible, did God appear in the empty warehouse? Like, was it a big, are the universe's limits defined? And the fucking the singularity was sitting inside this darkness, or did it create the darkness as well? And if so, what was it in? What do you mean everything was? How does that even? And what created that? Something had to create that, just like something had to create God. Christians always have to. They're always like, oh, stupid atheists believe something came from nothing. How could something come from nothing? Well, God did. There was no before God. Like, you see this shit is crazy. You United States of APAC billionaires, that is exactly the truth. And you know what? You guys we are being distracted right now from what we should be talking about, which is the Jews and Israel and all that shit and how they're committing genocide right now. How they control us. But see, it's the Jews that give us this bullshit narrative. And this idea that the Big Bang explodes, and as it's exploding, it's like a constant eruption of explosion. It's just shooting out stuff continuously in all directions, even though when you look at the example given, it's like a tube. And then it comes down. It's so stupid. The animation that they show you is just stupid. But in this big explosion, there are just these gravity pockets that just sort of exist. And what they do is they start swirling the debris together. All the debris that has been ejected from this singularity. It's a bunch of dust and dirt and shit. Well, it's all getting swirled by gravity into clumps that eventually light themselves on fire in the vacuum of space. It's a fire that will burn forever. And around those fireballs, in a flat egg-shaped pattern, a sunny side up egg-shaped pattern, other little gravity pockets exist and form little clumps. Some of those clumps, the inside of them lights itself on fire and burns eternally, while the outside turns to rock that slides around on itself. And in our case, we got water and life, and we got water that birthed single cell organisms that turned into double cell, and they morphed and they turned into fish, and the fish turned into dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs got wiped out for the most part, but some turned into birds, while other fish dinosaur things turned into monkeys, and they turned into people. Like, that's what science says. It's just I'm simplifying it by making this is a process that took many hundreds of millions of years. Oh, okay, well then that makes sense. It also makes sense that we know it. We, the people that supposedly just learned to fly around 100 years ago, we know the secrets to the universe. We can fucking fly spaceships and shit. Right? So true, the United States of Israel. Yes. And that's, you know, that when you say that God, the whole God story is the same thing. God and Adam, God just made stuff because what the fuck he wanted to do. And Adam, you know, he made little naked puppets that once they figured out they were naked, they got kicked out. And then that's that. Then you get the whole rest of the nonsense Bible. It's just stupid. You know, and these are these distractions that they give us, because as long as we sit here and we argue and fight about shit that happened supposedly billions of years ago, millions of years ago, thousands of years ago when it comes to Jesus and stuff, we're not focused on what's happening right now. We're not focused on the fact that these Israelis are killing people left and fucking right, man. Damn, I went off in a distraction. The feed was allowed to go up for a minute, and now we're shot back down just as I'm getting back to talking about Israel. You guys, we have to talk about this. Ask yourself why you don't have this conversation with your friends and stuff. Like, think about how many conversations you may have had with the people you know, your family, your friends, about how bad the Muslims are. Or all the pedophilia that the Christians do. I mean, I know if you're Christian, you try to avoid talking about it. But think about how many conversations you've had along those lines. And then think about how, like, why don't you talk about the Jews? Why do you think that they're off limits? Why are they considered, like, why would Christians now, Christians believe that Christian God's chosen favorite people are a completely different religion that thinks Christians are fucking stupid? Do you guys not see how, like, crazy delusional that is? I you know, I never had it. I never, even as a young kid, I never understood how people believed in God. I just always thought that it was silly and stupid. It just didn't make any sense.
Well, I would always think, well, how do they know? How do they know? Okay, I know they, but how do they know?
Well, they talk about this personal relationship they have. Every time somebody talks about, you know, God actually talks to them. Like, you know, that's crazy, right? You're crazy. You need to go to the doctor. And the thing is, it's like the arrogance of being Christian, it blinds you to how stupid it is. Because if you believe that you have a direct line, a conversation with God, and then in so doing, you pray for, you know, your friend to stop drinking, and your daughter to have a safe pregnancy, and all of these selfish things. But you're not sort of demanding your God, being like, hey, you know what, God? Yeah, life's kind of tough, but we'll get through it. We'll handle whatever situations come our way. Can you do something about all of the child rape happening in your fucking house? Can you just do that? How about all of the Christians who believe that prayer actually works, for just 1 week, stop praying about selfish bullshit, and I pray that I go out there and beat up my opponent. I'm praying that God gives me the strength to go beat up the other guy that's praying to God that he gets the strength. For just 1 week, we stop praying anything else other than, hey, God, you know, give heart attacks to anybody in the church that tries to fuck with children. It's like during COVID when you watch the 700 Club. My favorite part of the 700 Club is when they're at like 15 minutes to go, and suddenly their magic powers kick in, And Pat Robertson was a piece of shit. So glad he's dead. But apparently he, around 33, I think it was, because he wasn't, he was doing all kinds of other shit before that. Around 33, he must have figured it out, the way that he could command God to what's up, John? Cool. He could command God to heal people. God, who had made those people sick in the first place, because everything is God's will and God's plan, right? Pat Robertson figured out a way to be like, touch and command God to heal people. And he was so good at it that he could be being filmed in a delay situation. I remember one time I tried calling the show and asking if I could talk to one of the hosts that's live, if I could be put on. And they were like, oh, they're not here right now. And I was like, what do you mean they're live? And she got all weird for it. Like, it was like, it's clearly not live. Clearly it's not live. But they can put their hands up, they can close their eyes real hard, and I guess God gives them the message that they need to command God to then heal the person. So they say, Debbie from Connecticut, I'm sensing your leg. You have a tumor in your leg. And the doctors are telling you need an operation, but you can't afford it. Well, you need to stand right up and claim your miracle. God is going to eradicate that tumor. You will no longer have a tumor. You will no longer need that surgery. Amen. Hallelujah. Touch. And so everybody named Debbie that might have a fucking thing in their leg that, something going on, anything close, that's desperate and they can't afford a surgery or whatever it is, they're going to rise up and claim that as them and not go to the doctor and, all this other shit and probably die. because one lady called at one point and was like, this is Debbie from Connecticut, and I want to donate $1,000 seed to the church. And they're, oh, Debbie, God bless you. Oh, you're so great. Debbie, we love you. Tell us something. You have a good 5 minutes that will entertain you. Well, I'm just doing this because Betty Joe, she's in a lot of work. Oh, Debbie, that's it. Hey, Debbie, do you have anything going on with you that maybe, you might... that you might want to talk about? You might want us to pray over for you? Well, now that you mention it, I have this respiratory infection that is going to require some surgery, and I might need a lung transplant. Oh, wow, Betty, Debbie, that's terrible. Okay, Debbie, we appreciate it. And then a week or two later, the little voice in the earpiece is saying, okay, Debbie from Connecticut has the lung thing, blah, blah. That's how that works. And because it's so vague, and people are just so fucking desperate and stupid. They fall for it. God bless you, Maine. Yeah, God bless me. So I wondered why during COVID, since, they all have the power, Gordon and Pat and Wendy and all, somehow Pat taught them all how to do this TV voodoo shit. Why don't they all just go, you know what, God, we're not going to go for a specific miracle. We're going to touch all of our viewership is now going to be immune from COVID. You know what? We're actually going to be good Christians and say everybody, not just everybody's going to, we're just going to eradicate COVID. Okay, God, 1, 2, 3, everybody, you touch it. What touch? Eradicate. How come they don't do that? Why don't the Christian populate? Why doesn't the constituency? Why doesn't the sheep? Why don't you guys demand that of those people? You guys we're all going to put down our own selfish needs right now because we're all in such dire peril. We're all about to die because COVID is the scariest, scary. So why don't you all just say, you know what? We're gonna do the right thing. We're gonna put our shit down, and we're just gonna pray that God get rid of COVID. You won't do it for COVID. Old world building. Gotta love that. You won't do it for COVID. You won't do it for the pedophilia in the church. But you'll be fucking. You go. Watch any football game, and just before any like game-winning field goal, and they pan to the crowd. Look at how many people are literally praying to God that their kicker makes the fucking kick. All you people that claim, I've seen it. Oh, God's shown me something. God's appeared. I've seen. How come a police officer has never, ever, ever been walking down the street, driving down the street, when suddenly God struck him with a bolt of lightning and said, "Hey, stop your car." And he stops his car, and he knows that there's a child pedo ring in there. And despite all of the regulations and all that shit, he runs up and kicks the door in, and he gets there just in time to save the child from getting violated for the first time, while there's a few others in the back, and he saves this whole ring of he saves this whole group of kids from this ring, and which ends up leading to this whole ring of pedos getting busted. How come that's never fucking happened? Yet people will say, "Oh, God showed up to me, and my sister fell out of the car, and God showed, and rolled down the hill, and an angel appeared. God appeared to me, and Jesus appeared and led me down so I could find her. I found my sister down the hill." Oh yeah, no, God made my hands bleed. Look at this. God made my hands bleed. Stigmata. How come stigmata doesn't exist anymore? Now that we have cell phones, and everybody has access to high quality HD fucking cameras right in their hands in real time, how come nobody has stigmata anymore? Look at the dumb things that get said when people can't fucking take what I'm saying, so they have to say something. They have to protect their own fragile psyche, because I'm starting to make too much sense, and they don't like that. They're going to try to do anything. The shoot the messenger thing is always a reliable thing. I get way more. That literally 100% of what I get is shoot the messenger. Nobody ever addresses what's actually being said. Talk about Israel owning Congress. Well, that people just don't understand that. People don't understand like so many of the highest ranking government delegate, government officials, whatever, they all have dual Israeli citizenship. You're not allowed to have dual, Brazilian citizenship and be a member of high-ranking member of the government. I don't know how low it goes, but you have to be American to be just about everything. And yet you have all of these people that are supposedly dual Israeli citizens that are then voting on how much money we give Israel. Why? How does that not seem like a complete, total conflict of interest?
Stronger, are you done?
No.
More stronger.
It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. It's just, I cannot understand why we are all so okay with the Israeli domination.
Just keeps putting me nice.
Dude, play fun. You wouldn't like it if he did it, right?
I'm just gonna spawn a car.
People just don't understand what's going on. The Jewish conspiracy is the conspiracy. Everything else is fixed if we go through that. But as long as you're focused on anything else, especially the good things like Tartaria or like the pedophile church or pedophile Hollywood or any of that shit, as long as you're distracted by those and not looking at who's perpetuating those things, you're being distracted. We've given Israel $18 billion since October 7th of last year. $18 billion to a first world country that's not the victim, that's the aggressor. And for what? Why do we, like, the connection to Israel only makes sense if there's a Jewish conspiracy. I thought Israel owned the U.S. I mean, yeah, they yes and no. Like, you start getting into silly there. Like, who owns this? Who owns that? You know, by whose laws are they owned is more like it. You know? As Rothschild said, I believe it was Rothschild. It doesn't matter who controls the laws. Give me the money. You know, let me control the money. I don't know the quote exactly. But it's yeah, owned, yeah, owed. I thought Israel owed the U.S. Oh no, I read that wrong. My bad. No, Israel doesn't owe the U.S. Israel gets $3.8 billion a year from the United States. It's part of the memorandum of understanding that's re-signed every 10 years, and they decide how much Israel is going to get over the next 10 years. Last time it was $38 billion over 10 years, $3.8 billion a year, which once it transfers over into Israeli money, shekels, it becomes about 15 billion shekels. And that's the United States. Canada gives them 2 billion, Australia gives them 1.2 billion. You know, the UK gives them billions, Germany gives them billions. So many countries give them billions of dollars every year. Most of the Israelis don't fucking work. They don't do anything. They get their Israeli check every year. The Israelis, for 3 weeks prior to the unprovoked invasion by Russia, unprovoked, for 3 weeks prior, Israel had 3 747s, whatever the biggest plane number is, 3 of them running in a continuous loop, bringing Jews from Kiev to Israel that were leaving their lives behind. And they don't have any sort of homeless problem or anything. Why? Because all those settlements that were built, those mansions, those compounds that were built all over, you'd be lucky to live in an Israeli settlement house. These places are mansions, and they're given. They just give it, okay. And then they get your Jewish check. They don't do shit. They live life. They enjoy life. That's all it is. You know? Of course they're a leader in technology. If any other country had that much money flowing into it at all times, they'd be a leader in technology too. It's just all one big fucking illusion. Do you think Israel can beat Iran? I have no idea. I don't. All I know of Iran is what the Jewish media has told me. I don't know their capabilities. I don't know. I would think if they could, they would have done it by now. And you know, I mean, the U.S. has its 2 largest aircraft carriers stationed in Israeli waters. How much money do people think those things cost to run every single day? What's going to happen is, so I thought this part was going to happen. So for all of you that have no idea, I was telling people that October 7th of last year was going to happen, like March of last year. You know, I was telling people, if Israel doesn't do one of those huge false flag operations by December of this year, I'll quit doing the truther thing altogether. And I said, it might be as late as February, but I don't think so. I think it'll be closer to December. I had no idea I was right and early. They were actually going to do it even earlier. I knew it was going to be after the visa waiver program, but I thought they'd wait longer than a week. but they didn't. So I was telling people that was going to happen from the beginning. I've always said it's not about free Palestine. It's about end Israel, because free Palestine is like such a strange term. Free Palestine back to when? Definitely not back to British mandate, British control Palestine, because that's not free. Free Palestine can't be controlled by a Christian or a Muslim monarchy. That's not free. So, what exactly is free Palestine? And at the same time, it's Lebanon, it's Iran, it's Syria, it's all these other countries. It's clearly not about Palestine. Palestine was just about satisfying that Israeli murder boner they had. Because that's what they like to do. They fucking like killing people. But this whole thing is much bigger than Palestine, and people need to understand that. They've just about wiped out Palestine. Palestine is yesterday's thing. They've killed many hundreds of thousands of Lebanese so far. I remember a couple in one airstrike on a civilian like Israel is fucked. It's about bringing forth Armageddon ASAP. Yeah, no, but see, that's the big problem. Is Armageddon is their fiction. It's not, dude, that's not real. There is no God. The Bible is just their bullshit to control us. Why do you think they put their book in the front of the Bible? Why do you think you got to read through the Old Testament to get to your book? If you worked at McDonald's, you got a new job at McDonald's, and every piece of literature you went through, it was like how to make a Whopper was the first thing you read, and then you would read about, McDonald's policies or whatever. When you start to think, hey, does Burger King own this shit? What's going on? Why are we learning about Whoppers when I'm working at McDonald's? God is real. Is it? How do you know? Read the Quran. No. It's the same bullshit. It's the exact same bullshit. And the Christian fanatics waiting for Jesus. It's the same bullshit, man. Why would you think the Quran is real but Christianity's not? They're all the Abraham the Jew. They're all fucking nonsense, man. They're all nonsense control schemes. It's so sad. Why would you believe in a God that clearly doesn't give a shit about you? I don't understand. Why would you, I bet you have a shit ton of respect for your mother, for your sisters. Why would you think other women should be treated any less than any man? Why would you think men should be treated better than women? Have you even read it? No, I haven't read it. Prove God. Exactly. Prove it. Because I read it. The devil exists. Prove it. Prove the devil exists. Prove what you're saying. Why would you fall for that shit? You have literally no evidence, no reason to, other than the control systems that are approved, the approved control systems that have told you to think that way. That's literally it, man. So God must be real. Well, that's logical. If the devil is real, which it's not, then God must be real, which it's not. That is some crazy, crazy thinking. Black magic is real. Uh-huh. And yet, we can't do it. We can only be victimized by it. Demons are devils. Okay. See, this is where it just gets crazy. Do you think you're making sense? Isn't it frustrating for you right now that you're saying things that you have to know we're laughing at you? You're not making sense. If devils and demons all exist, there must be God and angels. Who said devils and demons exist other than you? I mean, you're right. You know, if the devil and demons do exist, then yeah, I guess God must exist too. But again, not Christian God, Muslim God, which is a different version of the Abrahamic God religion. That you have literally zero proof of, that is clearly used to hold your people back, clearly used to keep us as people divided, and you think it's just coincidence, I guess. That's not logical, just made up logic. 2 billion Muslims, 2 billion said Christians. Again, dude, this is really simple, right? You're making the statement that God is real. So we're just asking you for simple proof. Don't keep saying crazy, weird stuff. Give your proof that God exists. That's a really simple thing. Well, at least it should be. You would think something that gets so much faith, gets so much, gives so many horrible organizations freedoms that they shouldn't have, and get protections, and is literally the cause of a genocide right now, or at least the manufactured justification for the genocide right now. And you would think with everything that goes on because of it, there would be some sort of proof. You would think there'd be lots of proof, actually. For there to be so much that's going on because of it, you would think there would be lots of proof. But there's literally none. And yet people don't understand what the problem is. They think the problem is the lack of, the fact that, I know 80% of us, 90% of us believe in this, but somehow that 10%, that 20% that doesn't believe, well, that's what's holding it back. God's just waiting for that other 20%. So while all these children are dying, all these women are dying, all these people are fucking dying left and right at the hands of people that are absolutely taking advantage of religious beliefs, God's just watching and waiting. Man, I sure wish those other people would believe in me so I could come down there and do something about this. Oh, I know what you're saying. The Quran is a miracle. Read about why it is a miracle. Why do Muslims always do this? If what you believe is so true and you're so proud of it, why don't you know it? You act like the Quran is just a Sunday afternoon read. It's a long, difficult read. But I've never met a Muslim that can make arguments from it and be like, no, see, the Quran says this, the Quran says that. They never say that shit. They just read about this, or it's crazy. If it's so good, how come it doesn't inspire you to be better? What you should do right now is pray that God gives you the ability to override our logic. And you can sway me over, because you would love for someone like me to be a Muslim, because then I could speak on it, and I could pull people in, and I could do all that. I could bring people into the cult. So ask God to give you the strength, the capability, the logic to override us, and see how long it takes before he answers. What is God waiting for? Exactly. The Jews are just destroying, what they're doing is fucking evil. It's because I look at the shit, I guess, that my social media page, my feeds, are full of these videos. But you can't find videos of Israeli victims, of Israelis holding their children crying, of dead children laying all over the place, or lost and shell-shocked children just walking around with no parents, covered in burns and shit like that. You can't find those videos. You can find countless, endless videos of the people of Gaza, the Christians and Muslims of Gaza, the children. Just, it's overwhelming. Like how is this happening? The crazy thing is, all those Muslims and shit, they all believe in God. What the fuck? Only God can guide you. Yep. Here we go. Here comes more cop-out bullshit. You ask a Muslim to, hey man, explain it. Just show us how God has made you whole. Explain it. And they always go, oh no, it's not for me to tell. I'm not. Yeah, okay. So it's for you to get us to right here. And then when we show interest and say, okay, man, tell us why we should look. Give us a little. Nope. You should just go look. And where should I look? Oh, the Quran. Nothing specific, just the Quran. I can just tell you about it. You're supposed to say I can't? Why not? The possibility is that God is bad and created us to enjoy itself watching us suffer. That is way more than the possibility. If God is real, which it's not, that is the 100%, that's the absolute, that's the truth. That God is a motherfucker. Notice how that God doesn't strike me down either, right? Of course. There are so many children right now, Muslim children being killed, being starved, being burnt, being raped. You know, these Israelis, if you look, I mean, it's not like the mainstream media is going to really talk about it. But just go a little bit lower and you'll see these Israelis have an obsession with Muslim underwear. They go into the houses and they find the underwear of the women and they put it on. They put on the bras and shit over their uniforms, or they pose with pictures. It's all over the place. And it's pretty telling because those Muslim women wear some sexy panties, apparently. Your God, the mainstream media. Yeah. See, this is what it's always so fucking weird, right? Like, why do these people, you ask them to give you direct information, just tell me the truth. You tell me what you know. And they just start, they get shitty. They start name calling. They start, like, it's always so strange. If you're proud of what you believe, you should be, just waiting for the opportunity to tell somebody. I know I am. I'm just waiting for somebody to be like, hey, what do you think about this? Oh, well, I think Israel controlled, blah, blah. And I'll go right into it. I'm just waiting for it. I'm proud of whatever I believe and what I say. And you never see that amongst religious people. They're so proud they'll want to fight. They're so proud they'll get angry. But they can never have a simple conversation about the shit they say they believe in. It's the craziest shit, man. What is wrong with people? Aisha, I just saw you reacted to my video and I was like, man, I was hoping he comes in here. I got my Aisha man crush going on, God, that sounded a lot weirder than it should have. It's crazy, man. This is the perfect conversation for you. We know what a big God believer you are. It's just so strange. And I always say this, like, the thing about Christians and Muslims is they think they're so different, right? They think they're so different, and each one is arrogantly believes that they are infallible, and the other one is just foolish and just ridiculous. How could you believe such ridiculous nonsense? Not understanding that they basically believe the same shit, and neither one of them can actually have a conversation about it. Talking to a Christian is very, very similar to talking to a Muslim, if not the exact same. For such different things, it's amazing how they can never, they want you to go read the Bible because then you can get to the point where they are, where they can't they can't bring anything up. Hopefully I'll read it like you do, huh? Get out my little highlighter. It's fucking crazy. And you know, like I say, somebody like me is saying, okay, here's the floor. You tell me what it is. Give me some sort of piece of like this. This is the thing that is the backbone of our society. It's the backbone of the genocide. It's the church. It's all of this favoritism, this Semitism that exists everywhere. It's all religious based. You would think somebody saying, hey, give me some proof would not be so difficult to achieve. With all of the favor in all of the blind faith that everyone has, you would think there would be a plethora of things. Well, there's this, and you can't forget about that and that. But it's nothing. This guy's best argument is because there's devils and demons, so that must mean there's God and angels. I mean, like, at least he's acknowledging that part, because I do get people that think, you know, oh, you don't believe in God, so you believe in the devil, you're a devil worshiper. Like, no, stupid. I don't believe in either one. They go together. The biggest devil worshippers in the world are Christians and Muslims. They're the ones always talking about the devil's doing this. They believe in the devil so much. And they believe the devil has so much power, and that this is the devil's realm, that earth is the devil's realm. And they give the devil so much power, so much credit. Everything bad that happens is the devil. And they don't realize how comically, like, inept and powerless they make their God seem. If the devil is doing all this, why isn't God? Like, I think about Lopan and the fucking the you know what I'm talking about. I think about that. Are they like fighting, and like the devil is what I always think of it like God is standing there looking down, and the devil is fucking with shit behind his back, and God's always like, what was that? And the devil gets behind him and fucks with some shit. Hey, what was that? And the devil gets behind, and that must be what's happening. Because otherwise, your God is just a fucking joke. It's so powerless. Or it is super powered, but it's just a completely dysfunctional, heartless asshole that's allowing its children to be violated by the red guy. Like, I mean, oh, I feel so stupid talking about it. It feels like, again, it feels like I'm arguing against some adults that believe in Santa Claus. Like, I feel stupid. Like, come on, you don't really believe that, do you? You really think that there's a red guy that lives down deep in the earth, and you know, he sneaks up behind God all the time, and like, which is it? Is it God super inept and stupid and doesn't care? Or the devil's just super, and the devil's like clever and shit? Or like, what? How does that work? I'm not a Jew. Good for you. Good for you. I wish you were. I wish more Jews would come in here and have this discussion. You know that circumcision is the main thing in Judaism? Their number one most important thing is circumcision. And in their community, it's a cut and suck. Because the moil sucks on the bloody baby dick after it's been cut to cauterize the wound. Think I'm wrong, huh? My viewers just went from 18 to 10, just like that. At the exact same time, 8 people were like, nope. I believe it. I believe it. Yesterday, my feed got up to 90 viewers. Well, it got higher than 90. I'm saying at least 90 viewers. Twice it built itself up, and they shut that shit down. Twice. Wow, you're fucking gross there, James. Thank you for outing. You leave them here long enough, they will. That's pretty fucking gross. That's what they do, man. Who makes those jokes? I don't make pedophile jokes. I make jokes about all kinds of inappropriate shit. I think it's super funny. I call my wife fat girl all the time. Especially out in public where fat chicks get all weird about it. Pedophile jokes aren't funny. Nothing funny. It's gross. If you eat baby, it's not pedo. There you go, guys. There you go. Some Israeli troll bullshit right there. But you're not a Jew. Sure. I mean, it's like, it's consistent. You know? It's consistent. You'll always see it if you leave them here long enough. So, back to this. Let's see. Boasted of planting material in legitimate news outlets, right? According to the investigation, much of the work conducted by the team in the arena of political... Much of the work conducted by the team is in the arena of political manipulation centers around disrupting or sabotaging election campaigns. In one instance, we said, The Guardian reported the team claimed sent a sex toy delivered via Amazon to the home of a politician with the aim of giving his wife the false impression he was having an affair. Same shit they've done to me. According to the investigative team, at least a portion of the disinformation operation was run through Israeli security company Dimaman International, which is Tal Hainan's company. Founded in 1999. This black ops operation, this government black ops thing has been running since 1999. Dimaman International claims to be a leading provider of high-level services for security, intelligence, and law enforcement agencies, as per their website. They also state that they have been involved in consulting for government agencies around the world, including in Israel, North and South America, Europe, Africa, and Southeast Asia, claiming to offer end-to-end advanced security solutions, intelligence, and wealth protection services. Dimaman, Jesus, that's a weird name. Dimaman International states that they are committed to the creation and enforcement of secure conditions for governments and private sector organizations so our clients can conduct safe and efficient activities irrespective of global operating theater. Irrespective of what's going on in the world, of the theater that's being pushed on the world. Wow. That is right in your face, isn't it? With Dimamam International, authorized by Israel Defense Ministry, by the Israel Defense Ministry website as an official strategic intelligence company. Company founder and CEO Tal Hainan is a respected and internationally recognized expert on urban warfare, counterterrorism, and intelligence. He also goes by the name of Jorge. While it is not clear whether or not other members of Dimamam International are involved in such a weird name. involved in Team Jorge, the founder and CEO of the international security company, seems to be working in two opposing fields, providing security and breaching security. The funny thing is this story comes out. It's completely legit. It's backed. They have 30 journalists working on it. It's all these news outlets. It's totally legit. And yet all the major news outlets didn't run the story. When asked for a comment on the matter by The Guardian, Heynen did not respond to any questions, but simply said, "I deny any wrongdoings." Investigating Team Jorge. In order to carry out the investigation, 3 journalists from the Haaretz, The Maker, and Radio France approached the team under the pretenses that they were consultants working on behalf of clients in an unnamed African country who were seeking to delay an election. The meetings between Heynen and the journalist took place via video meetings as well as in-person meetings in the unmarked office in Modi'in, Israel. Yeah, big nice office building that's unmarked. Also in attendance at the meetings were 4 of Heynen's operatives, including his brother Zohar Heynen, who described as the group's chief executive. In his initial pitch to those he believed to be potential new clients, Heynen claimed that Team Jorge has completed 33 presidential level campaigns, 27 of which were successful. He also told the undercover reporters that he had been involved in 2 major projects in the U.S., but said that Team Jorge does not directly engage in the field of U.S. politics. 2 major projects. I wonder what those were. While they may stay out of U.S. politics, the investigation uncovered Team Jorge bot involvement in other issues, including a dispute in California over nuclear power. Yeah, like they're not going to lie. That's the end of the article. That's the end of the Jerusalem Post article. It was interesting, huh? What else can I read you that'll prove it to you? Expose unmasked Israel-led disinformation team that meddled in dozens of elections. This is the Times of Israel. Is that clear cut enough for you? Like if you're gonna cry and claim that I'm lying, I'm trying to read as much direct from Israel shit as I can. A secretive Israeli team of contractors operating out of the central city of Modi'in was unveiled Wednesday as a global source of successful disinformation campaigns that has meddled in elections and commercial disputes in dozens of countries around the world. Tal Heynen, 50, a former Special Forces operative who goes by the pseudonym Jorge, was named as the mastermind behind the Israeli operation, which runs a sophisticated software known as AIMS that is capable of hacking social media accounts of senior officials and of easily creating networks of up to 30,000 propaganda bots on social media. Again, the Times of Israel is saying 30,000. 40,000 if you ask outside the Times of Israel, but it's weird that they think that makes it softer somehow. The bombshell revelation was the result of an investigative report by an international consortium of some 30 news outlets, including Israel's Haaretz and The Maker, along with Forbidden Stories, a French nonprofit that aims to continue the work of the assassinated, threatened, or imprisoned journalists. Heynen's team, known as Team Jorge, says it has meddled in 33 presidential level elections around the world with successful results in 27 of them, according to The Guardian. One of the 30 outlets investigating the story. The expose only named one of these elections, the 2015 presidential vote in Niagara, while saying no elections in the United States are known to have been affected. Funny how that's like a thing they keep sort of stressing for some strange reason. I wonder why. The report said Israeli initiative said the Israeli initiative was behind fake campaigns, mostly on commercial disputes, in some 20 countries, including Britain, the U.S., Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Mexico, Senegal, India, and the United Arab Emirates. There was no mention of campaigns in Israel itself. Hanan refused to comment on allegations, but added that he denies any wrongdoing. His brother Zohar Hanan, the group's chief executive, said he has always worked in accordance with the law, with the Israeli law, which doesn't recognize anybody else as having any laws or rights anyway. Three journalists from the Haaretz, the maker in Radio France, held a series of video call meetings with Hanan over 6 months last year, posing as consultants for elements that wanted to delay an election in a large, politically unstable country of Africa. So this, to me, even though they're denying that they had anything to do with the United States, like, this is way more evidence than I've been shown that Israel interfered with the 2016 presidential election than I have that Russia did. And they go to great lengths to prove that Russia did it without showing you anything in particular. So why isn't the U.S. all involved in this? Just like when Trump was in office, I believe, shortly after Trump took over, and they found those 3 Israeli listening devices stationed around the White House so they could pick up any calls going in and out, and any calls, any information going in and out of the White House. And it was identified as Israeli did it. You know, it was Israel, 100%. Like, it's interesting how, especially, average white guy American is all gung-ho. America first. And yet, when it comes to this foreign shit, this particular foreign shit, they're silent. And this is the worst one. This is the one that like is admittedly doing these things. Like, I shouldn't be able to make these arguments. I shouldn't be so good at this. If it's wrong, I should just be looking like an idiot. But the fact is, I mean, look at the best effort so far. We've got one guy that admits to being a pedo, a child predator. Whether you eat it or fuck it, you're a child predator, you sick piece of shit. And then you get this other nonsense, like literally nothing. What can they? Why isn't anybody denying what I'm saying? Because what can you deny? I'd love to know what somebody could deny. I'd love to hear what anybody's argument is when it comes to what I'm supposedly getting wrong here. I'm literally reading the news that I'm supposed to read. Yeah, maybe. I'm reading the shit they want us to know. There's no conspiracy theories here. You know, I'm doing everything I can to try to prove myself wrong. I'm reading the Israeli news reports. So if there's any sort of, cover up or anything, it's not going to be here, right? They're going to tell you they're going to tell you the truth. Dude, you just put yourself in its own little corner, dude. You make dumb fucking weird baby jokes, if that's what who gives a fuck? That's gross. You are outed as far as I'm concerned. Even more than you've already been. And it won't be forgotten, that's for sure. Their work culminated in December when the undercover reporters met an apparently unsuspecting Hanan in person in his unmarked Modine offices, filming him while he boasted of his team's capabilities. We are now involved in one election in Africa. We have a team in Greece and a team in the Emirates. You follow the leads, said Hainan during the meeting, which was attended by 4 of his colleagues. He also claimed involvement in 2 major projects in the U.S. while saying he didn't directly deal with U.S. politics. So the 2016 election and then the Cambridge Analytica scandal are probably the 2 major things he's talking about. Hainan described his teammates as experts in finance, social media campaigns, and psychological warfare, saying they were graduates of government agencies. He demonstrated the capabilities of his software, quickly picking a name, gender, pictures, and other background information for a fake social media avatar that had interlinked accounts on several platforms, designed to look genuine to unsuspecting internet users. It wasn't clear where the photos for the bots had been taken, although the investigation revealed some instances where photos were stolen from real people's accounts. Hainan also showed the reporters his Blogger machine, an automated system that created authentic-looking websites posting false information that could then be used by the bots to spread fake news. Seriously, I'm to believe that the CIA, the FBI, the United States military apparatus isn't at all interested in this story? After you've created credibility, what do? Then you can manipulate, he said. Hainan also demonstrated his team's ability to hack the social media accounts of high-ranking officials in targeted countries, retrieving information from the Gmail account of a senior Kenyan election official and posting a message from the Telegram account of a Kenyan political strategist. One of the biggest things is to put sticks between the right people. You understand? And I can write him what I think about his wife, what I think about his last speech, or I can tell him that I promise him to be my next chief of staff, okay? Hainan said. Hainan hinted that the hacking methods involved exploiting known vulnerabilities in the global signaling telecommunication systems known as SS7, long regarded by experts as a weak spot. You guys know about SS7, the weak spot in the telecommunication system, right? While Hainan said he would charge 6 million to 15 million euros, 6.5 million to 16 million dollars for his services, the report cited leaked emails from several years ago dealing with far lower fees, from 160,000 for involvement in a campaign in a Latin American country to 400 to 600,000 for a campaign in Kenya. Gee, there was no evidence either of those deals had ever been accepted. So why report that shit? Hainan refused to disclose his name during the meeting, but he left enough clues to enable the journalist to uncover his identity. With the final piece of evidence coming from a leaked Cambridge Analytica email exposed in the massive leak of the now defunct British consultancy, which had previously collaborated with Hainan. Go figure. Go fucking figure. Israel had already come under diplomatic... At least some of Hainan's operations, according to the investigation, had been run via Israel company Dimaman International. See, that's why it's so fucked up. Sometimes it says Dimaman, and sometimes it says Dimamam. There's an M or an N. Sometimes it's one or the other. That's why it keeps fucking with it. Which is listed on a defense ministry website as a firm that advances defense exports. So it sells weapons? The defense ministry declined to comment. Israel has already come under diplomatic pressure to clamp down on its growing shadowy industry of cyber espionage, with several companies, led by the notorious NSO group, accused of helping autocratic regimes around the world crack down on human rights and target political rivals. What are we doing? No, what is that? SS what again? I don't know. What? No, DEMONMAN or MAM. It's usually one or the other. It's kind of weird. I don't know what you mean, Aja. Sorry. I'm swell. What's up, home bro? That works out. I'm swell. How are you? I'm as swell as someone can be, knowing there's a fucking genocide taking place right now. Like, I just, to me, that's something that sticks in my craw all day, man. I think about that shit all day. I think about these poor people that are living under this insane, waiting to die under this insane fear blanket that we can't even imagine. And we're funding it. We're paying for it. We're sending our troops over to advance it. You know, this Team Jorge shit, the the Pegasus software, the Nebulous project, like all, or the what is it? The Nimbus, sorry, Nimbus, Project Nimbus. Like, people need to understand what the fuck is going on. Satan, you well is the devil. Yeah, okay. This is the big boy table. So if you want to talk about fairy tales, you got to go somewhere else. You got to go sit at the little kid table. You are not paying for it. You don't work. Yep. Yeah, hard to keep eating McDonald's and continuing my life as a first world American while people are getting unsafe drinking water and horrible casualties. Well, I haven't eaten McDonald's in well over a decade, so I can say that proudly. But yeah, the weak link in the telecommunications thing you were just talking about. Oh shit. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Um.
Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. It can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
It's the known as SS7. SS7. Netanyahu, aka Satan Yahoo. Oh, I can't read because you made up some dumb shit. Cracked out fool. Yep. Oh hell yeah, yeah. Look, we got stupidity coming in. Big boy conversation happening, and stupid's trying to distract. Why do you think whenever I talk about this, multiple profiles come out of the woodwork trying to get me to stop talking about it? Like, if you're an American, if you're anybody, if you're not an Israeli, if you're anybody else, and I'm talking about this cybersecurity, like espionage, this system that uses bots and basically verifies all of the conspiracy stuff, the worries that people have about the internet, and we can basically prove who interfered with the 2016 election and just all kinds of shit. Why wouldn't you be interested? Who's gonna not want me to talk about that? Who's gonna be like, dude, stop talking about that? Who's not gonna be interested in that conversation? Free Palestine. It's not free Palestine. It's end Israel. End Israel. Palestine is yesterday's destruction. They're on to Lebanon. They're on to Syria. They're on to Iran. It's Israel that's the problem. Palestine can't be free. What is free Palestine? Is it pre-67 Palestine, pre-48 Palestine, pre-2000 or 1918 Palestine? Like, when are we talking about free Palestine? It's better than that, man. It's bigger than that. Guys, we have to ask ourselves who is going to oppose what I'm saying? Who is going to see this feed and be like, oh, this guy's awful. I'm going to go mess with him and then end up looking stupid. You have to ask yourself this shit, man. You're right, bro. I agree. Your way. Gotta fix that your, man. While you apostrophe RE, you don't want to look stupid. You're saying good things. You don't want to look stupid. I'm trying to help. Don't get upset. But it's end Israel. We need to end Israel. We need to end Judaism. You know? It's time we fight this fucking narrative and find the truth. The truth isn't anything they've given us. It's not Jesus. It's not the Quran. It's not Islam. It's something better than. It's something that takes all of the positives from each side, from all sides, and creates an all-encompassing, something that's for everyone, something that's there for all of us. And anyone that opposes that, really, it tells you something. We definitely need to stop fucking circumcising children. That is the worst. It's such a bad thing. I believe that it's one of the main reasons why the U.S. is so full of sex crimes and pedophiles and all that shit. Because, so many males in the United States, most males in the United States, are circumcised within hours of being born. One of the first things they experience is insane trauma, is a trauma that all of us just can't even think about. And they're just little tiny little babies, like, oh. It's so fucking disgusting to think that people do that shit. That should not be a thing, and it's a Jewish thing. Us doing it is us marking ourselves as Jewish property because of the covenant Abraham made with God, so that God would never flood the earth again. That's why he shows us rainbows. We have to, the Jews have to circumcise. That's why it's the most important thing to them. And then we, Goyim, we have to circumcise to mark ourselves as Jew property. You're Jew property. While causing, brain fucking damage, brain damage trauma. That is, that's just crazy. If I suggested hurting your baby so badly that it went into shock immediately after birth, you would want to fight me. You'd want to kill me. But when it's to mutilate your baby for Jewish customs, you're like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to keep doing it. It's so fucking wrong. It's so wrong. Like, guys, wake the fuck up. We are not Jew property. We are better than. We are better than them. They need us. That's why every time they sort of kick all the Goyim out of Hollywood and think they can do it on their own, you start getting all the stale bullshit we get now. How is it possible that CGI is worse now than it was in the 90s? You see that like watch Blue Bloods and watch when they're driving their cars. Watch how fake and stupid that looks. How did we go backwards like that? Guys, if you're watching too, share this shit. Share this video. Share it around Facebook. Copy the link and share it on Facebook. Tell people to come to this. Come have this conversation. Tell me what I'm fucking wrong about. Share it with that heading. Come tell this doofus what he's wrong about. You might want to put it in there because I can't, but you don't have to. Speaking of Hu Yam, do you guys remember where we were in 2019? Before they locked us down? Do you guys remember how many protests were happening worldwide? Does anybody remember how the people of Hong Kong were protesting every night they were allowed to? And they would stand in big circles and sing the national anthem, the American national anthem, trying to get help because they were being oppressed so much. You guys remember all that shit? We were so close in 2019. Especially, like, all the people that talk, oh, there were no wars. It was so bad in 2019. The yellow vest protests were all over Europe. The South Americans were protesting like crazy. The only people that weren't protesting at the time was the United States. Australia was protesting. Shut up. This dude's a piece of shit. This dude talks about eating babies and shit. Like, literally all credibility, all everything is lost. I don't know why this dude's still talking. He's fucking gross. Guys, we are so much better than this. Black, white, fucking Asian, Indian, who gives a shit? We're all together. They've made us all fucking, it's so important, civic pride. You should have pride. Yeah, you should be pride. You should have pride, because forever white people told you were awful. Yeah, you should have that kind of pride. But at the end of the day, where your parents had sex, that shit doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter where your parents had sex, where your grandparents had sex. The fact is, right now, there are women and children suffering a genocide. And there are multiple genocides happening all over the world. It's just this one in particular is like being broadcast. They're bragging about it. Hey, Americans, look what we're doing with all your tax money. Look at that. I remember at one point, either earlier this year or at the tail end of last year, it was sort of the last time the government was trying to pull that bullshit that they were going to shut down. That we're going to have to shut down and furlough the employees because we can't pay our bills. Oh, but we're going to approve $14 billion for Israel. What?
Nate tells me he never wants to play Loving Part Warriors 4 on my account, but he wants to play it on his.
Okay, so is he being serious or is he just messing with you?
No, he's putting it in right now.
He can't because he'll get in trouble.
An hour, 39 minutes of this.
Okay, that's fair.
But you never
You
want to play it when I suggested play.
Okay, Nick, did he just do your thing?
And I don't want to play your account.
Nick, did he just do your thing?
Yes.
So shouldn't you be like, all right, man, thanks, I appreciate that. Go ahead and do whatever.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. I think you may work for the feds. How else could you talk about the Jews? How else could I educate myself? They stupid. I challenge you guys. Go back through this feed. Go back through any of the feeds I've done. Yesterday, 4,000 plus views. Almost 5,000. Go back through and see how many people actually address a point being made. See how many people tell me I'm wrong about a specific thing. Because everything that is said is always this dumb shit. How are you allowed? No. First Amendment. No, not really. That's not usually how that works. You're busted, Fed guy. Yep, that's me, Fed guy. Talking about something that nobody else is talking about. In a way that nobody's talking about. Because the system, what? Like, why would the system want somebody talking negatively when all we do is support? I mean, you have the timeout for hate. I love that commercial. Timeout to hate. It's the most important timeout I've ever called, says Doc Rivers. And it's all about like they try to make it seem like they're this equal opportunity and we're all about stamping out hate. But the symbol they use is the blue square with the hashtag in it, which is a Jew thing. It's a Jew organization. It's not about helping non-Jews. It's about helping Jews, but they're lying. They're just putting it right in your fucking face like it's nothing. Deep cover dialectic. Yeah, that's what it is. So that all makes sense. Gotta make sense. What a strange fucking. What a strange thing. Like, to me, it's just it's so strange and so telling. You know, I think about like when I look at how social media works and I look at how real life works, like in restaurants, right? Worked in many restaurants and whenever we go out to eat, if we have really good service, we have a really good experience, we always pull the manager over to tell him, hey man, we just want to let you know we had a good experience and your employees are great, your restaurant's nice, clean, food was fantastic, and we just want to let you know we appreciate it. And you could see the managers every time they're like, oh, wow, well thank you, you know, because usually people just complain. And that's literally all the managers deal with is complaints all night long. In reality, nobody ever just pulls them aside like we do. That's why we do it. And that's how we are in the real world. We're, you know, especially in the real world / online where we have the anonymity to be a tough guy. You know, we're quick as hell to tell people what they're wrong about. We're much less quick with the compliment. We're much less quick with the, like I forget to like videos all the time, even though I like them and I want to support them, but I just forget to click like because I'm into the video or whatever. I forget. But I forgot what I was fucking talking about. Just that's with Agent Tyrus Cobb, yeah. I just, you know, this whole thing is just so crazy to me. Why are we so silent about the genocide? I don't like getting distracted. I keep letting myself get distracted. And I know that's what's happening. And I don't like it. I really like it. It bothers me. Because I know that's what it's all there for. And if we want to fix any of it, we have to fix all of it. And the way we fix all of it is by attacking the truth holders, the people that control the narrative. And from what I can tell, it seems to be the Jews. If it's not them, then by all means, explain who it is instead and let's focus on them. But that's not how it works. It's crazy. How do we do this? Like, I'm the opposite of who I'm constantly up against. I want you guys to focus on what I'm saying and pick it apart and tell me what I'm wrong about and all that. It's like, why wouldn't you? That's the that's the goal here. I'm not asking people to fucking agree with everything I'm saying. I'm saying, tell me what I'm saying. Israel strikes Beirut area. U.S. pushes to rekindle peace talks. How come that's the continuous narrative? The U.S. is trying to push Israel into peace talks and peace, ceasefires, and Israel just keeps like doing it. And it's like as long as the illusion of peace talks is there, then I guess it protects Israel. I don't know. It's so fucking crazy. Explosions over the town of Kima in southern Lebanon as seen from the area of Mayoyo on Thursday. That is crazy. You can't imagine living in that fucking, under that kind of occupation. The Lebanese aren't doing shit. and Israel is just attacking them, attacking civilians left and right. Israel carried out, but they're going to say it's in retaliation. Everything is in retaliation. Like, it's crazy that Israel will strike. Like, everybody's not talking about Israel striking and killing 500 something people a couple of weeks ago and then warning against retaliation. Their thing is, okay, we're going to strike at you. You are not allowed to do anything back. If you do, that gives us carte blanche to do it again. Like, this is fucking crazy. What's your opinion on World War II Germany? It's a big narrative that we've been given, and the Holocaust isn't real. The narrative that we've been given about the Holocaust just isn't real. My grandfather is said to be a concentration camp survivor. I believe we are Operation Paperclip. But the narrative that we're given about 6 million Jews and all that shit, that's not even the narrative that's told over in Germany anymore. The fact is, it's called Germany. Why do we call it Germany? The Germans call themselves Deutschland and Deutsch. They speak Deutsch. Why is it called Germany? How did that come to be? Germany's been the bad guy for both world wars. You know, it's all connected. You have to look at all of the connections. At the same time, they're convincing us that the evil germs are trying to invade our body. The idea of germs being a thing is the same time Germany becomes the physical bad guy. So what is it then? It's excuses. You have to look into the Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration it should be called the Rothschild Declaration because it was the Rothschilds that did it. They just attached the name Balfour to it to separate themselves as not the authors. But Balfour supposedly is the first one to talk about Israel needing to exist, the Jews needing a place of their own homeland, and blah blah blah. Which somehow because Germany does something turns into Palestine has to pay the price. But World War I was about establishing the British control of Palestine, along with other shit, but establishing the British control over Palestine. World War II was about giving the excuse. Yeah, what's up? Fries? I could make spaghetti. I don't know. Yeah, I love you. Hey. That's because things are called different things in different languages. For example, so how does Deutschland translate into Germany? That's not a thing. Deutschland doesn't translate into Germany. That you're believing something because like you're told that like that's what it should be. Well, I guess you don't think about these things. And if you do think about it, you put that like, it's like a little bit of blush. You just put a little bit of blush on it and then you just sort of go on. You don't really think about what you're saying. Deutschland doesn't translate into Germany. Same thing with Japan. Nippon doesn't translate into Japan. Why would it? Why wouldn't we just call it Nippon? We can say Nippon. We can say Deutschland. It's not like it's difficult. Bohemian Grove is where the presidents meet with them 2 weeks a year. I mean, to some degree, yeah, I guess. And Bohemian Grove is absolutely something. But Bohemian Grove is like Alex Jones. And when we start talking about Alex Jones infiltrates Bohemian Grove, is super far away and tapes what you can barely see as some goofy, play ritual bullshit. And then can't get any closer, it's all just Bohemian, like, Alex Jones is controlled opposition. So when Alex Jones tells us it's stuff we're supposed to know. That's all I know. That's all I think. But it's this kind of shit that we need to, we need to hash it out. Again, if I'm wrong, then fuck yeah, you think so? Tell me. And if my explanation doesn't make sense, then tell me again and we'll go from there. Oh my Lord. Jesus Christ. That's so sad. Israel carried out overnight strikes on the southern suburbs of Lebanon's capital, Beirut, the first in the area in days, while U.S. officials sought to inject momentum into stalled peace talks in the Middle East. Oh, well, good thing the U.S. is stepping in to keep supplying the weapons, but ask them not, okay, here's the guns. You're not going to keep shooting with it, right? He's like, yeah, we're going to keep shooting. Okay, cool. Well, don't though, okay? No, we're going to keep shooting. Okay. All right then. Like that's literally all that's happening. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony motherfucking Blinken, piece of shit motherfucker, told reporters Thursday that progress has been made towards reaching a deal in Lebanon. How do you say that the morning they're they're launching rockets at them? They're attacking the suburbs and you're talking about progress being made? As far as Gaza, he said Israel has accomplished the main objectives, dismantling Hamas's military capacity and leadership to prevent another attack like the one on October 7th, 2023, that literally has no fucking evidence. Israel claims 1,100 something people were killed. And if you really want to know, there's a list of names. Okay, well, I can give you a list of names. Where are the fucking funerals? Where are the people? Where did they go? What happened? Israel is the Jews are real big on. I mean, it's just it brings me back to the Samantha Wool thing. That story can't go away. We have to, like, for all of you that deny that the Jews and the government and all that they lie to us and they present us with fake stories and shit. You need to know the Samantha Wool story. You're just upset they're winning. You better believe I'm upset they're winning. I am absolutely upset that they're winning because it's not like they're better. It's because they're more armed. Like they're using tanks and fighter jets against people with sticks and rocks. Mostly women and children. If that's winning, I mean, I guess they're winning for sure. But like, you're just stupid because you think that that's a good argument. Of course, if you're not upset by what you're seeing, by the bragging, you're a piece of shit. You're just a piece of shit. And all you're doing is acknowledging it. You're acknowledging that you're a piece of shit. Blinken said, the focus now must be on ending the war. Washington is also pushing Israel on a daily basis to increase humanitarian shipments to the enclave, he said. Oh, yeah. They spent all that time, effort, and money killing those people so that they could then allow the fucking humanitarian aid to help them. Why is there no political figure, no person with a microphone that says what I'm saying? At the very least, where can I find the answers to these questions? Why, I want to know, like, what I'm seeing doesn't make any sense to me other than a Jewish conspiracy to commit as much murder as possible. So if I'm wrong about that, how can I prove it? How can I find, I can't find anybody with any balls or intelligence that can have a conversation. I go live, flat out talking about it as loudly as I can, and nothing. It's the same thing with religion. It's the same thing with all of it. If you're right, then why am I kicking your ass so much? In Cairo, CIA Director William J. Burns, piece of shit, met with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Thursday, one of the mediators of the suspended ceasefire negotiations. The suspended ceasefire. The Palestinians are not firing anything. Anytime you see anything that's supposedly fired from the Palestinians, from the people of Gaza, it's Israel. They've agreed to shoot missiles into a certain area of certain coordinates, and then the Iron Dome shoots it down, and then they use that as an excuse to attack more people. They don't have access to weapons like that. It's just so insultingly stupid. This is just fucking crazy. Stop it! Hey! Stop, Nick! You're being a jerk and you know it, right? So stop. Yep, almost. Almost. Lebanon's acting prime minister. Wait, did I miss something here? The two discussed ways to de-escalate tensions in Gaza, advance ceasefire talks, release hostage, and improve access to humanitarian aid. Sisi's office said there are no Israeli hostages. Get a grip. Yep. I'm crazy because I'm reading the news. Must be Hamas supporter, you mate. Must be Hamas supporter, you mate. Boy, those Israel supporters sure are smart. And you live in the USA, you are mad. Yeah. This is what they do. If Hamas was real, I would absolutely support them. Absolutely. I would absolutely support someone standing up for themselves and protecting themselves and their people. But Hamas is as real as ISIS. You guys remember how ISIS just sort of popped up last year, attacked the Russian consulate or the Russian opera house or whatever it was, and then disappeared? First time in 10 years we've talked about ISIS. They pop up, they do something, and then they're gone again. Yeah, ISIS, Hamas, it's all stupid. It's all just stupid. Anytime Israel they had to create a bad guy because the people of Gaza, the Palestinians, there's no official government, so there's no official military. They don't have any defense. They don't have any. There's no one trained. There's no tanks. There's no jets. There's no guns. They don't have rocket launchers. They don't have any of that shit. So what they did was, because they've already trained us on the notion of Islamic militants. Well, now all they do is say that anybody that fights back is a militant, Palestinian militant, because they're fighting back, because they're not just accepting the occupation. And if they fight back, then they're a militant, and that gives the Israelis the excuse to shoot pregnant ladies. The Israelis are insane. They're insane. But they're Jews. I mean, Jews are the worst people in the world. I just can't say that enough. They are the worst. Lebanon's acting prime minister, Najib Mikati, said Friday that overnight strikes on Beirut's southern suburbs. Again, we are talking about Israel striking suburbs where civilians live. Women, children, men, they're striking suburbs. They're claiming, oh, there's tunnels underneath. Oh, there's the tunnels underneath. They're psychopaths. They just like killing people because they're psychotic. These Jews are insane, you guys. Wake the fuck up. Beirut's southern suburb and on Beirut's southern suburbs and the expansion of Israeli aggression in Lebanon shows that Israel rejects all efforts to reach a ceasefire. Lebanon's news agency reported. I mean, how else do you, Lebanon's national news agency reported, how do you see it any other way? Well, if they would have stayed off the go-karts and paragliders, they wouldn't be getting destroyed. Right. Look at the stupidity someone just said. So somehow Hamas thought they would attack the area they attacked, supposedly, is the most heavily surveilled area in the region, and yet there's no footage of it. They were able to attack Israel, the largest military in the region, at one of the heaviest surveilled border crossings in the area, using paragliders and go-karts. Yep. That makes all the sense. And motorcycles. Remember motorcycles too. They were kidnapping people on motorcycles. I'd love to see somebody kidnap somebody on a motorcycle. All right, get on and hold on tight. Do not fall off. You realize how stupid this is? Paragliders? There's no footage of it. Israel initially claimed that Hamas launched 5,000 rockets in 20 minutes. That's 4 rockets per second for 20 minutes. And because it all happened so fast, that's again why there's no footage of it. There absolutely was footage. No, there wasn't. There's a couple of fake sort of bullshit things that somebody's getting grabbed and taken into and put into the back of a black fucking SUV all of a sudden. Somehow there's a black SUV or some shit like that. But no, there's not. There's not footage. And there should be endless footage. Just like with the Trump shooting, the Thomas Matthew Crooks thing, there should be endless cell phone videos and live streams from that day, from that event. And there's not. There should be so much footage of these paragliders. I'd love to see this footage of the paragliders. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, bet you not your kid. Gary Glitter there. See? Doing everything we can to stop the conversation happening. I'm definitely not Epstein. I'm not a fucking Israeli agent. And the suggestion of me, because I'm literally the guy that's saying we should kill pedophiles. But because I'm talking bad about Israel, well, I must be a bad guy to my own kids. That's the best Peter Nichols can come up with because he's probably a dumb Jew. Dumb Jews, this is what they do. They got nothing. No wonder you was arguing with your family. They think you are a wronging. Get off the live. Stop making a show of your kids. Yep. Again, let's shoot the messenger. We don't want people talking about what happened. We don't want people pointing out all the holes in the stories. We don't like you, dumb goyim, talking out of line. Come on, stop it. Stop talking about something. Stop reading the news we want you to read. Like, it's just so, it's so predictable. They're so predictable. Not one argument is going to come through and tell me what I'm doing wrong or why it's okay that they're committing genocide or anything like that. It's just going to be continuous stuff that if somebody else reads it and they're maybe on the fence and they need an excuse to not keep listening to what's being said, so they, oh yeah, he's a bad guy. That's what it must be. Even if it was true, would it take away from what I'm saying? If I was an alcoholic junkie who sold drugs, beat my kids, beat my wife, kicked my dog, would that take away from anything being said here? Would that take away from any of this information that this idiot can't fucking answer for? Again, Peter's a dumb Jew. This is what they do. They have nothing. You know, of course, it's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking stupid. You would think, like, again, why not just address what's being said? Why make up stupid nonsense? Desperately trying to, I gotta say something. He's hurting me. He's hurting me with the facts he's spitting, so I gotta make something up. No, that SUV was on your drive for little kitties to. Yep. Now see, this guy's getting all in his weird fantasies and shit. But see, desperately, this is just one of the profiles desperately trying to stop the conversation. Israel said its strikes, which were preceded by evacuation orders for a number of the buildings late Thursday and early Friday. Right. You know, people living there, families and all that are living their lives, get pamphlets that are either dropped from the sky or given to them somehow. That's gotta leave. We're gonna fucking drop bombs on you. American-made bombs are gonna get dropped on this area of Lebanon, so you might want to leave. Like right now, if somebody told you that, hey, you got to get out of your house by tomorrow, or we're gonna drop bombs, how would you be able to handle that? No, I'm English, you racist. Proved me point, you Jew hater. Yep, proved the point. I proved the point by saying you're a dumbass who's making up nonsense because you can't address the things that are actually being said. Yeah, that must have been your point. I'm English, you racist. You're dumb enough to think Jews are a race. See, this is just the same. It's like the same stupidity on repeat. You know, these idiots, they just come and they just say the same dumb things. The idea that I'm not allowed to hate the Jews. Like, what kind of crazy shit is that? Of course I am. It's a crazy cult. I hate all those cults. I know they want to be special and think that I only hate that. No, I hate all of it. It's all stupid. It's a stupid way of controlling people, and it's the Jews. It's all the Jews. And just like I keep saying, instead of actually addressing anything being said, you have this dumb fake profile spewing nonsense. Israel said it strikes, proceeded evacuation buildings late Thursday and Friday, targeted Hezbollah infrastructure. Of course, just like it was Hamas infrastructure before, now it's Hezbollah infrastructure, including weapons manufacturing sites and command centers. Again, exact same words. 7 people were killed Thursday in northern Israel in a rocket attack from Lebanon. Awesome. When did that happen? Israeli officials said, including 4 foreign workers. 4 foreign workers. So the Indians are already in place. The Indians are already there, which is why you don't hear about any sort of disruption to Israeli life. Because the Palestinians were the ones that did all the menial jobs. Maintained the elderly, did the construction, did all the service jobs and shit. But what most of you don't understand is that back in 2022, Israel bought 42,000 slaves, supervised workers, slaves, from Delhi. You know, the Israelis bought the slaves from Delhi in some deal where they bought 38,000 people earmarked for construction jobs, 38 or 4,000 for elderly care, and they bought them from the government of Delhi. So that's why they've been able to. Strangely enough, coincidentally enough, it's about 42,000 Palestinians that have been killed since October 7th. The exact same number as the people that they bought. And I told you guys this early in 2024 that they're probably going to kill around 42,000 people because they can. Let's see. Here it comes out. Oh, no, it's proving you're not proving Jew hatred. I proudly accept it. I proudly proclaim it. Nobody's hiding in that. Oh, such stupid nonsense. More Jew hating out of your mouth. Yeah. You called me a Jew because you are. You're a dumb Jew. I'm sure you're pretending you're not, but you are. And if not, you're even worse. If you're a goyim and you're standing up for them, you're a weak piece of shit. You're probably the type to fight over a soccer game. These guys are the worst, man. This is just disgusting. This behavior is just disgusting. Oh, let's see. 7 people were killed. Thursday in northern Israel, a rocket from Atlanta killed a rocket from Lebanon. In a rocket attack from Lebanon, Israeli officials saying 4 foreign workers. Maris Sangongkampongsa, Thailand's ambassador to Israel, confirmed the deaths of 4 Thais and urged all parties to return to a path of peace. How come nobody's being like, Israel, stop fucking with people? Why don't they just, it's just crazy. The path to peace is Israel's allowed to attack you and you're not supposed to fight back. Here are other key developments. More than 30 people were killed in strikes in and around Nizrat refugee camp in central Gaza on Thursday night and Friday morning, according to doctors and local reports. Khalil Dagran, director of the Al Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir Abala, said 26 bodies arrived at the hospital, including 21 from Nizrat refugee camp. A doctor at the local Al-Wada hospital branch in Nizrat, who spoke to the Washington Post by WhatsApp on the condition of anonymity for fear of Israeli reprisal, said he saw 5 bodies, including those of 3 children. That is fucking gross. Do you support the resistance group? If there was one, I would, yes. But Hamas is not real. Hamas is Al-Qaeda, is Al-Qaeda, is ISIS. It's the same. It's the fake boogeyman that they use to, they say, Hamas shot rockets at Israel, when Israel who's shooting the rockets at Israel. Hamas is just a boogeyman. Watch out. Your pager might blow up. Jew hater. Yeah, because that's what they did, right? The Israelis. It's crazy how that story's gone. I'm so glad you brought it up, actually. That story just disappeared. That Israel hacked into all these fucking... Or Israel got a hold of all these pagers and cell phones and radios and shit. Somehow in the process of manufacturing, put explosives in there and then set them off on civilians. It was just civilians who were walking and their fucking hip would explode or their hand would explode or, blowing their face out. Like, that should be the war crime of the century and nobody's talking about it. What kind of crazy shit is that? Who in their right mind would support that? Yeah, you could get sued for that. He thinks he's an Aryan Brotherhood. Look at this stupid ass motherfucker. This guy has literally been here for 3 hours just blowing me every half hour or so. He comes on here and let me know that he's still thinking about me. He supposedly drove over here because he wanted to get in a fight. And what a racist, blatant racist. Yeah, Jews aren't a race, you dumb fuck. Get your fucking facts straight. Jews are not a race. Can't be a racist against a non-race. You dumb fuck. So stupid. Current intelligence indicates that Iran may be preparing an attack on Israel in coming days. That would be so great. A person close to Israeli leaders who was briefed on the situation and spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters told the Post, Israel last week carried out retaliatory strikes against military targets in Iran. Again, yeah, how are they retaliatory? Following Iran's earlier ballistic missile barrage against Israel and the latest in a cycle of tit-for-tat strikes between the two countries. Sure. At least 43,259 people have been killed in Gaza during the war, and 101,827 injured, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Jesus. At least 2,867 people have been killed and 13,047 injured in Lebanon, the country's health ministry says. Neither agency distinguishes between civilians and combatants because they're not. And notice how they don't give you the Israeli casualties because there are none. There are none. That's the thing. You guys aren't understanding the facts here. You're not seeing like what's directly in front of you. Unless I guess it's read to you. Unless the system tells you you don't pay attention, but why wouldn't they have put the Israeli losses? Oh, here we go. Israel estimates that about 1,200 people were killed in the Hamas. So we've gone back up to about 1,200. So we know that 43,259 have been killed in Gaza, 101,827 injured, 2,867 people have been killed, and 13,047 injured in Lebanon, and then about 1,200 people were killed in Israel. And notice how, again, as always, it says Israel estimates that about 1,200 people were killed in Hamas's October 7th, 2023 attack. Okay? Including more than 300 soldiers. They don't say estimates that 1,200 Israelis were killed. As a matter of fact, they bragged initially that 1,500 Hamas were killed in Israel initially. So when you say 1,200 people were about 1,200 people and about 300 soldiers, well, that's about 1,500 people killed in Israel, not Israelis. And this wording, this really specific wording, has been going on for the entire time. You don't see people talking about how Hamas killed around 1,200 Israelis on October 7th. Then nobody refers to it like that. They always refer to it as people in Israel. Whenever they're talking about Israelis, they say Israelis are killed. Wait, it says it earlier here. Where's that? Current intelligence. Where's that one thing I just read? There's a thing earlier that said Israel carried out down. Said that Israel accomplished. Where the fuck is it? Seven people were killed on Thursday in northern Israel in the rocket attacks. Again, they're saying 7 people were killed Thursday. They're not saying 7 Israelis, so I don't believe it was Israelis. Because when they refer to themselves, they refer to themselves as Israelis. Why don't you go fight against the Jews then? Tough. Yeah, that's what I should do. 45-year-old father of two. I'm going to just join the non-existent military and go fight against the Jews in Israel. Yep. You are super smart there, Caplocks. Oop, I saw some. Yeah, you saw some missing ceiling tiles. See, of all the things I'm talking about, these trolls can only focus on dumb shit. Why aren't they denying the facts that I'm putting out there? Why aren't they refuting any of the things that I'm saying? Why do they keep trying to talk about stupid shit when apparently I'm wrong? And they like the idea that American tax dollars are being spent on this. This is cool to them, right? This is the best use of those American tax dollars. Using it to find and kill pedophiles, that's not a good idea. These guys don't like that, right? Using that money for veterans, no, that's not a good idea. Using that money for drug programs, using that money for anything other than his what? I will let you know, dude. Oh, look, dumbass fucking retracted his message. He got scared there. Act tough. Yep, I'm acting so tough. Look at how tough I am acting. Oh, what?
Can't take the game pooping.
No, he can't.
No.
Nathan, stop being a butthead. Come on, Nate. Nicholas, stop. No, you're not, because he's not taking in there right now. Stop. Then why make a big deal out of it, dude? Then why make a big deal out of it in the first place?
Because I didn't think of the option.
Okay, well, think of the option next time. Babe wants, like, look at all this. We're just desperately trying to say anything we can other than addressing the adult political stuff that the big dumb is saying. Funny how that consists. Where is it? Where is the opposite? Where is the intelligence? Why do these guys how are they so stupid they don't even see that what they're doing? It's so goofy. Thinking that the guy is literally asking for your political opinions and what he's wrong about with the things that he's reading from the news that he's supposed to read, not the conspiracy pages. Why don't you be an adult and try to converse about what we're talking, not conversate, converse about what the big boy people are talking about at the big boy table. And these guys are like, no, I don't, I'm too stupid. I want to keep making up stuff. So fucking amazing. Long live Israel, coming from a UK-born citizen. Yeah. I mean, again, why? What's the reason, Stoopy Stoop? Do you have a reason, or are you just... I'm just mad. My penis is tiny, and I just pick fights with people that I know are too far away to do anything about it. How stupid are you? Come on. So irritating. It's so embarrassing. To be so stupid that you can't address the conversation. People, imagine there's two people having a conversation or a group of people having a conversation, and you're so mad about what they're talking about that you walk up and you're like, duh, duh, duh. You just say these dumb things. Let's see. You paid once a month. The people look at you like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, long live Israel. Yeah, from a citizen of the UK. Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that. I know you were talking about the news and you were read. I don't read, so I don't really have anything to say. I just want to say you paid once a month. Look at your ceiling tiles. Can you imagine how ridiculous that would be? You're at a party somewhere. People are talking about political stuff. They're actually in the conversation. Guy walks up. Look at the ceiling tiles. Be like, okay, Freddie, go on. Yep. Go have another drink and go sit down. Yeah, but look at it, Santa, you paid once a month. I know, Freddie, but we're talking about big boy stuff, okay? So you go sit down over there, okay? Go back to what you were doing. Like it's crazy. Why long live Israel? Why not long live everybody? Because they're Israeli fucking trolls, dude. That's why. Because they're stupid. I call it pride before the fall. You call what? What are you talking about? Nobody even knows who you're directing it at. It's so stupid. I cannot. This big tough guy, Peter Nichols, just put how many hearts? How many double pink hearts? You want to talk about some fucking smart guy there, huh? No, I'm telling my God, you spelled, because I spelled you Jew hater, telling him you're sorry, and I hope his Christ in his heart. He has Christ in his heart, not like his dad. I hope he has Christ in his heart too. Hey Nathan, random trolls feel bad for you because I'm such a bad dad. Yeah, isn't that nice? Yeah, he said thank you. Everyone pays tax. Yep. They're just stupid. I don't even bother with stupid, man. You don't answer for stupid. It's just, to me, it's so great. Because again, it's like, think about it. These guys are proving that if they were capable of saying something intelligent to debunk or derail or try to make me look stupid, they would. Like if my appearance is your thing, you bathe once a week, that kind of shit. Well, then they're desperately trying. They're trying to find anything they can, so much so that they're trying to make up weird fantasy things about my life that they would somehow know. Because they just so badly want to, I guess, upset me or derail me. I don't know. So if they could, and they could do like a good job at it, where it would be something to where I would be like, oh man, you totally got me. I've totally lost my steam. Like, oh shit, I was so wrong. You just fucking got me. If they could say something like that, they would. But that's the best they can come up with. They're stupid. Okay, answer why you hate Jews. There's a genocide going on right now. That's a big part of it. Their control, the circumcision shit, the way that they look at us as goyim. Again, their secret conspiracy that controls everything and keeps them in power. Like, there's lots of it. There's lots of it. And you notice how none of those things are your stereotypical, like, slurish things? The idea that you think saying they have all the money and the power and the control, that's a slur, just shows how stupid you are. To derail you, you have to be headed somewhere. Oh, that was a good one, Left Hook. Ow. Left Hook Lazy. Naming yourself after Jeff Lacey. Boy, you must have played a lot of fucking, what was it, Knockout? What was that game? The UFC, or the boxing game, 2009, with Ali on the cover, I believe. Left Hook Lacey, he was tough. What a dumbass. Yeah, I'm not headed anywhere, because I'm just making up this story that I'm reading. Duh. So stupid. Oh, man. Let's see. The Israeli Defense Forces Arabic language spokesman Avichai Adari posted evacuation orders on social media late Thursday. Late Thursday, he posts it on social media, and the people of Lebanon are supposed to get that message and leave by the next day. And that's like fair. It's like, well, we gave them warning. Yeah, so what? Their lives, their whole everything is in. We told them to leave. They had to go somewhere. And you know what Israel does is like how with Gaza. They told everybody, head south, you'll be safe in the south. And then on the way headed south, they were attacked while they were destroying the north. And then when they got to the south, they were like, okay, you guys got to head to the north because we're going to blow up the south now. And then they blew up the south. Remember how they did that? Nah, that's nothing. God, these people. See, so left hook lazy again. He just proved he can address the things that I'm saying, but instead of addressing any of these points being made, he's going to do that. He could. If he could, he would. He's just proving that he would. I heard something you said, and I thought I could twist it. You said you got derailed. Well, you have to be going somewhere to be derailed. See, I see. But, like, it's just amazing. It's amazing how stupid these people are. This guy thinks if he says Jew hater over and over again, that's going to bother me. Ooh, ow. Please don't call me that. Ow. This is a random doofus, right? This is just a real person. This isn't some fake bot Jew profile that some Team Jorge profile that I read you all about earlier. It's not that. This is a real person in the UK somewhere who's just angry because I'm reading the news. What a dumbass. To tell you what I miss, Jeremy Kyle, at least I found this. Jay, tell you what. Ugh. Jeff Lacy was tough. Sure he was. He was. Anybody that steps in the ring is tough. It's just a pretty random option to choose from. Like, not a lot of people are bringing Jeff Left Hook Lacy up in the conversation in 2024. So, pretty interesting. No, I have respect for anybody that gets in the ring. Even if you're terrible, I have respect for you. That takes a lot. You're not like some pussy troll sitting behind a fake profile trying to derail conversations about, exposing the Israeli Jew conspiracy and killing pedophiles. We hate that. Let's see. Orders to social media late Thursday and in the early hours of Friday for people living in several buildings in Beirut's southern suburbs. The Israeli military later said on Telegram that it targeted Hezbollah infrastructure, including weapons manufacturing sites, and command centers in Beirut. Lebanon's acting Prime Minister Najib Mikati said Friday that the expansion of Israelis' aggression in the Lebanon's territories, along with the repeated threats to evacuate entire cities and villages and renewed airstrikes targeting the southern suburbs of Beirut, are evidence that Israel rejects all efforts to cease fire, according to Lebanon's national news agency. Earlier this week, the Israeli military ordered the first citywide evacuation order since the war began, forcing residents to flee the eastern city of Baalbek and surrounding villages, while international organizations have raised the alarm of the impact of the war on Lebanon. Do you understand how insane this is? How is anybody denying that the Jews are psychopaths who just want to kill people? Have you trained for any kind of combative sports? Well, I guess you'll never know. Dun, dun, dun. At least 10 people were killed and 26 others were injured in Israeli attacks on Baalbek, the neighboring areas, on Friday, Lebanon's health ministry said. Margaret Harris, a World Health Organization spokeswoman, said in an email on Friday that the organization is deeply concerned about rising attacks on healthcare workers and facilities in Lebanon. Hospitals, she added, are overwhelmed by mass casualties. How come we hear from her? How come you guys will never see someone like me? If I'm wrong, they should put me on TV, have their little panel there, and I'll say what I say, and then they just destroy me. Just like they don't come on here. Just like nobody comes on here. Because they can't. Lebanon's health ministry said 6 paramedics were killed Thursday in attacks in the south. War crimes. Those are war crimes. The fact it's not getting acknowledged just so says everything. More than 30 killed in Israeli attacks on central Gaza. Medics say more than 30 people were killed in strikes in and around Nazareth refugee camp in central Gaza Thursday night and Friday morning, according to doctors and local reports. While Israeli operations recently have been centered in northern Gaza, where Israeli authorities have cut off nearly all aid to the estimated 400,000 residents there, attacks have continued across the strip. How is this okay? Am I reading in a different language than the rest of you speak? Do you guys think I'm making this up or something? Competed as an amateur boxer for about 7 years. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun. Good for you. Khalil Dragon. See, the thing is, I put your defenses down, right? Your defenses fell. You forgot you're supposed to be trolling because we shared a common bond. You weren't expecting anybody to be able to know. Nobody's called out the left hook Lacey thing. And you were like, this guy doesn't know what he's... Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, dude. Director of Al Qaeda's hospital in Deir al-Balah told the Washington Post by WhatsApp that the bodies of 26 people in central Gaza had arrived at a hospital. 21 of them were from Nazareth. A doctor at the Al-Wada Hospital branch in Nizrat, who spoke to the Post by WhatsApp on the condition of anonymity for fear of Israeli reprisal, like that's a big fucking deal, said attacks began in the morning and were ongoing. There is shelling in the northern part of Nazareth camp and tanks are advancing, he said. The people are fleeing from the camp and north of it, he said. Why isn't this being talked about? Why is this okay? What about this? How is this the victims are how are the Israelis the victims? Can somebody please explain it? I'm too stupid to understand. So can somebody please explain it to me? The doctor said mid-Friday morning that so far the hospital had seen 5 people killed, 3 children, one a boy who was 2.5 years old, and 2 adults. Because, those are combatants, right? Israel only kills the combatants, and they do their very best to minimize casualties of civilians. To minimize the civilian casualties, they do their very best. You're so stupid. Every strike we talk about our death because the whole hospital. Every strike we talk about our death because the whole hospital shakes, he says. You just can't even imagine. You can't even imagine what it's like to live in that scenario. You're a doctor and you got to go to work to help people because that's your sworn thing. And those are your people. They need you. But doing so puts your life on the line. How horrible. The Israeli military carried out a strike on a Hamas militant and infrastructure in the Nazareth area Thursday, adding the reports of civilian casualties are under examination. So when anybody else reports it, it's not necessarily true until the Israelis confirm it. Gotcha. When asked about the strike Friday morning, the IDF said they were looking into it. Oh my God. Israel has damaged or destroyed nearly a quarter of the buildings in Lebanon South. Look at this shit. Yeah, Israel is totally the victim. Because there's so many videos like that happening with Israel, in Israel, right? Jesus Christ. Well, I figured if I shared a bit, you might be open about what you've trained in. Your stance and respect for anyone who steps in the ring is usually a stance of someone who's competed before. I guess I was wrong. Yeah, that's what it is. Because I want to sit here and talk to you about my own personal bullshit when I'm trying to talk about the genocide that's happening. That makes sense. Glad you opened up there, buddy. You want to come have some tea? No, you got tricked. I knew what I was doing by bringing it up. You're the one that fell for it, and now you feel stupid. It's okay. You're a boxer, right? You've probably been hit in the head a bunch of times, so it's understandable. Anyway, and that's it. Good way to end it. Seen a lot here today, so. It's not about free Palestine. It's about it. End Israel. And more than anything, all you pedophiles, Peter Nicholas included, kill yourself.